woman.
Right.
So even then, if you're going to say, well, look, well, why can't we do it this way now?
Okay, before we get to I want to ask my question.
Look, no,
please.
let me make a statement.
No, Jake already said I could get in next.
Okay, so really quick,
You're fine, Mel.
Go ahead, Ferb. You got it.
Rage.
No, you should let
Imperious.
10th Man answer that. It was directed to him specifically.
Imperious.
But
What do you think we should do about gay Christians? Should they be able to get married?
well, no, in the Catholic Church, gay people cannot get married.
No, I said
So
Christians, not Catholic.
Okay, that is okay. I'm not going to get into that. Christians, okay, that again, if they're
I like how you
religious
said
in their hold on. One, if
Oh, that was
they
cool.
in their private, specific ceremony want to do what they do, no one can stop them from doing that legally speaking. And if they afterwards wanted to go get a union through the state that gives them the exact same rights in all things, you can go do that.
So it's a yes.
We want it so that it's called marriage when it's between a man and a woman. When you say the word marriage, that's what you mean. One man, one woman. You say the word union, you mean anything else. That's all we wanted. And everyone got to go jump off a cliff and go crazy about it. We don't want to take anyone's rights. We want you to have the same inheritance. We want you to have the same legal rights, as in having power of attorney. We want you to have the same voting rights. We want you to have the same property inheritance. We want you to have the same banking rights, the same stock rights, the same everything.
Okay, cool. So,
but we don't want that word used because it traces back in our Judeo-Christian founding to a certain
Imperious, how
Can I answer both questions?
How come marriage is in fact not defined that way? Coming from Oxford languages, the legally or formalized recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship.
Until Obergefell, it was.
Imperious, please. So I like to have the end game part of this discussion because I've already had this discussion, and I had this exact same discussion with Andrew Wilson a couple weeks ago. Tony. And what he said was, it was fair when two men couldn't get married, so now it's fair because two straight men can't get married, that's fair, so two straight men can't get married, so that's fair. And my retort to that is, no, two straight men can now get married too, with the way that the law is. So stop it. Stop it. Stop acting like we're taking something from you. Stop acting like this small segment of society. I keep on hearing the argument from two sides. I hear, why are we catering to this small part of society? Because he tried to say that gays and gay marriage and all this stuff was the degradation of the family union. It's like, you're giving us an awful lot of power, bro. Since
Nobody's
guys are the controlling power in our government.
No, that's not what it's saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm holding a line in a traditional word.
There were people arguing that it's taking something away.
Essentially, you're shitting on it.
Yeah, your penis. Sir, we don't care about your traditions. You will give us the same rights.
You do care because you want it.
Otherwise, religion. Hold on. Otherwise, religion will be eradicated. Those are your two choices. Either treat everybody equally, or we have to get rid of your hate groups.
Two things. One, I just said yes.
Those are your only two choices.
No, hold on. I will answer your two separate things.
You either share, or we take all your stuff away.
No, we exclude you. We exclude you, and that's it.
Hold on.
We exclude you.
You're bringing stop.
No.
One, I gave you the rights already. I gave you the rights. I said, did you not hear what I said 2 seconds ago? You have it's not called marriage. You just have a union. It's the same rights. Everything's the same.
You know what's
just
truly
like,
just
like that's all it is. I don't care. You have the same power of attorney. This has nothing to do with the gays are taking something. So I don't know. It's called.
You skipped over what I said. You're skipping over it. What happens when the Orthodox Christian doctor says, no, I'm not operating on this person because they're gay? What happens then?
Then they go to jail.
Too bad. Too bad, right? No, it won't be go to jail because it's the same as baking a cake for you, bro. It'll be the same thing. You don't care. You just want to hurt people. You're the same as Ryan. You're the same as Mel. You just want to hurt people. Yes.
No, hold on. Can I answer this? Can I answer this before the Furby does? Can I answer this, please? Furby, please. It was directed to me. It was directed to me. It was directed to me.
I'm begging you. I'm on my knees begging you.
Fine, go ahead.
Thank you.
But Tenth Man is right. Like that.
That was a
beautiful,
beautiful speech, 10th Man, because I've been in your exact same position where I'm trying to tell you that just because trans people want rights doesn't mean you can't have yours. So thank you. I'm glad we finally.
No, there's a huge difference between me doing a ceremony at a Justice of the Peace and you wanting to use my niece's bathroom, the same bathroom as my niece, and you're 6 foot 200 pounds.
Even though I just want to use a bathroom like she does.
No, okay. Can I answer?
Do you want to use her bathroom?
Hold on. Can I respond? Now that I can respond.
No. Pause. Why can't you use the men's bathroom?
Because I face higher rates of violence.
Yeah,
and
the little girl.
What are the stats for that? What are the stats for? What are the stats for trans women being beat up or in a men's bathroom? What are the stats for that? I can't recall hearing any stories about that.
Let's say Tenth Man has built these streets, okay? So let Tenth Man just give him some room, okay?
No, that was it.
We're gentlemen here, yeah?
Is men are dangerous, so they can't use women's bathrooms. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, if you're born a man, you're just a little bit more violent than you are if you're born a woman. It's just how it is.
Transgender women.
There was an investigation in Britain. There was an investigation in Britain in nightclubs.
Don't want to hear the trans
hold on. My 12-year-old niece is more vulnerable than you are. Fuck your rights.
Hold on. There was an investigation. There was an investigation in cities across Britain, and I know it happened. I think
this is why it's LGBT. They trolled them with you.
All right, I love all you guys.
Sorry, Damon.
I do, except for
I can give it
we'll get it. I gotta go.
Guys, let me finish. Hold
on, gentlemen. I think Tenth Man's doing a closing statement here. Go ahead, Tenth Man.
But Damon gets it afterwards, though. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go to Damon afterwards. Tenth Man, you were saying? Tenth Man, you there? Okay, I guess not. Damon, go ahead.
All right. So there was a couple of investigations that were happening shortly after they said that they were going to set up changes to hate speech laws regarding the trans community. And they were policing what was happening in nightclubs where allegedly a lot of these attacks were happening on the trans community. Now, what happened was, because they wanted to have the statistics of how much violence this community faces and where they face it, the police that were collating data, the areas that they were in, they found that there was groups on social media that were posting to one another, trans people that were posting to try and raise awareness of what was going on, and to say and establish that they needed to actively go out to these areas and basically catfish guys, basically deceive guys into thinking that they were of the opposite sex, and to basically do sexual favors with them, like take them off and do stuff with them. And then, and I used this example in the argument today, reveal after the fact, haha, you're gay now, right? I trapped you. We tricked you. And they deliberately did that to provoke an attack so that they could then get it registered, so that they could artificially boost these kind of like numbers. It was a drive for them to go out like martyrs and provoke an attack upon themselves so that it could then get logged, and to try and put the idea
so
that these
extreme to cause a mob blood rush, so that they can say, "I told you so." Look at all these evil bigots.
Okay, so yeah. I would really like to answer Kazoom directly, if that's possible.
Well, I mean, Damon did give an answer, but let's hear your answer too.
So, So when we restrict bathroom access to trans people, so that way they have to use the bathroom of their assigned choice, the rate of violence that they experience for being trans, because you're already vulnerable to violence for being trans, goes up from 24% to 36%. Now, this makes sense if you think about it from a common sense standpoint. There's already prejudice against these people, and for people who sexualize trans people, they're more likely to think it's okay to sexually assault them because they think less of them.
Where are these? Hold on. Can I ask you a question, though? Look, I've been around a long place. I've been to a lot of cities, countries. But I have yet to see in my life this crazy, like, sword of Damocles that you're talking about that hangs over every gay person. that they go everywhere. Like I said, or trans person.
Why are you bringing? Okay.
Why? Or sorry.
You probably
Trans
won't
person.
see it. Most of this violence is done when somebody thinks that they're alone with the person.
But that's the point. Like, that's when every crime's done. So maybe, hold on, maybe could it be possible that the person that's being the aggressor is looking at someone that maybe presents more a feminine or a weaker way, just as a woman would, and sees a weaker person to prey upon?
Sure, that makes
and not just that it's they're gay or trans, and we're gonna, because again, I'm sorry, but a lot of gangsters or criminals don't even want to go near a trans person. They're like, F that weird ass person.
On a deeper level, sure, what you're saying makes plenty of sense. I was just trying to approach it at a surface level to keep it more common sense.
So Furby, can I just ask two
John,
things?
John, you can
First
go eat my ass.
Weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jake, John wants to know if he can pay to have Imperious.
Yeah, he can. All he has to do is just pay. I mean, look,
you know, whatever. No, John's a good guy. He can pay what. But no,
he can pay whatever.
No,
John,
he muted me though. He banned and muted me. That's bullshit though. This is bullshit.
John,
blacks coming in here and trying to repress a white from other places.
Okay, all right, Imperious, hold on really quick. I'm gonna grift a little bit. I'll do a $20.
He's in my chat, so you got to.
All right, you know what? Pay Angry Snowman at least $20, and we can boot Imperious if you want. All right. I think that's fair. Or me, you can go to my channel and donate to me as well.
So
we're going to be racist against the white man here.
I need to give a quick PSA on banning people from channels and my thoughts on it.
It's not banned; it's just kicking off Imperious.
No, I mean,
dude. And by the way, Imperious.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I know. But I think John's a good one in the sense, if he kicks you off, he probably won't talk shit about you afterwards. Because there are people who cross the line, and I can acknowledge that.
Sure.
And sometimes you need to ban
No,
people.
It wasn't John that kicked me off his channel. It was HB and Portia.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I wasn't
he
even
didn't
trying
kick
to
me
lie
off, but then John continued.
Let me get to my point.
Bullshit.
Imperious, you're cutting me off. Let me get to my point. My point is that what bothers me about the people who have banned me from their channels is that they do so to talk shit and pretend like they won debates against me afterwards. And all I'm saying, Jake, is if you need to ban me from your channel, don't peacock. Just don't peacock.
He's not gonna ban you.
Don't
what did you do?
Oh, Melanie's such a shit debater. Blah blah blah.
No, look. I'll tell you this, I've never talked shit about you. The only time I ever talk shit about you is to your face. Yeah. Okay, that's it on panel, etc.
That's the name of the game, baby.
But at the end of the day, dude, I'm not here to be malicious to anybody, any debater, nothing like that. I'm not that type of person. Okay, so no, you're always
for progress.
You're always welcome, bro. That it is what it is, and it's fine. I'm not here to ban anybody or nothing like that.
So just quickly, Furby, if I can ask you just a couple of things. First of all, can you just explain your particular identity? Do you mind doing that? I asked you last time we debated.
I'm a straight up trans woman. It hasn't been in question since the day I realized it, and I've never looked back.
Okay, so do you, because this is something we didn't get to ask you because you weren't at the debate, do you agree that, do you believe that sex and gender are two different things? Do you recognize that you're biologically a male?
Yeah,
Sorry?
Well, I can see that, and I can see some confusion, not for the people who I've told over and over again, but for the people who are first encountering this.
Sure.
And the overlap, I do think gender occurs more culturally, mentally, and is an overall an environmental and attitudinal thing. And
so do you feel like if people misgender you when they kind of use the incorrect pronouns, do you feel like that's offensive, that's wrong, that's hateful?
Well, online, I mean, I've obviously learned to just let it go. It affects me more in real life, to be honest.
Okay.
And it depends, right? If someone doesn't mean to, then and they feel bad about it, then obviously, I don't think they did that out of that intention. But
so would it be safe? So let me just finish this quick line of questioning. Sorry, I'll try and keep it quick.
Well, can I finish my question? It's sure. The insistency that if someone was being insistent about it, that's how I would tend to know that they're coming from an ideological place more than anything.
Man, I have so many questions for Furby, dude.
So do you think, would it be safe to then assume from that, in your feelings on those issues, would it be safe to assume that you then believe that you're a woman?
Sure.
Okay. So
just
so
not
on-
like there's a lot of nuance there, that things I could disagree on, but then that would be more semantics than anything. So I'll just say
Okay.
sure.
Right. Okay. So the thing with that then is what I'd like to ask is like just two simple solutions. We know, and if we need to make it clearer, we could just say, and this is how you know that there's an ideology that's pushing this, because they won't allow that to happen. We could just put on every single toilet where it says men's, women's, we could just put biological men's, biological women's, and that would solve the problem, right?
Well, it'd be biological males and biological females, because male, female refers to sex,
biology,
and woman, man refers to gender.
Right.
So that doesn't solve the issue.
Woman, man doesn't really. So the other thing. Sorry. Did you say that it doesn't solve the issue? Is that because of your earlier point regarding safety?
Well, yeah, trans women would still need to go.
So here's the other thing, and so here's the other thing that I would then say based on the. So the other questions that you asked earlier, that you answered earlier, which I was asking, which clarifies like this is your belief that you are actually a woman, and how you reacted to some of those questions. And I'm not saying this offensively. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to be offensive here, but there technically is a toilet that does exist for you, which you could feel safe in, which is if you don't want to use your biological female's toilet, right, is the disabled toilet. And by law, loads of places have to have disabled toilets. You could use it. It's a single cubicle. Nobody's going to attack you there. You'll be safe. So why not use that then?
Well, for one thing, it's inherently exclusive, and there's nothing against disabled toilets, but it does feel stigmatizing for people to use. And if you feel stigmatizing from using something that's a basic function of your body, you might not feel like you can go to public places.
Where's the stigmatize me? I want my own toilet.
Where's the
stigma? Where's the stigma? Well, especially if you're a woman, typically it's a pro-social thing to go to the washroom with other women, and do your makeup.
Yeah, because they go in there and talk shit.
Yeah,
so
next time you want to take a dump in a disabled toilet, just put a little pink bow on your head, Imperious, and just strut right in there.
Let me finish my answer so that way Damon can actually hear it.
I have a camera I put in the vent.
I just real quick as a man, I just want to clarify. Like I'm talking about a dump that would like resemble the size of Gary Coleman's forearm. Just put that in everyone's mind, okay?
I mean, it's typical that guys, when guys use the restroom, they just want to do their business and leave. With women, they like to talk and
gossip.
And you know why?
Women have couches in their bathroom.
You're doing your makeup, and you're checking each other from behind, being like, "Oh, there's something. You should check your hair. The back of your hair looks a little messy."
Well, yeah, all women are a little bit bisexual.
Doesn't even go here.
Mel, do you have those traits when it comes to women?
And if what I'm trying to say, all I'm trying to say is that being denied that opportunity when you are in a public setting with your girlfriends is alone very outing. It makes you feel outed by that, and that's what trans women don't want. We want to feel like we can just be ourselves. But
what happens if biological women one day all as once just say you're not women, we don't want you around, and then get men really mad at you? And then, because remember, the only thing keeping men from just destroying you guys is that women would get upset. So what happens when you piss women off to where they just unleash men?
That's true.
Well, look at the sports. Yeah, look at the sports. Sports allowed transgender women into the sports, and now all of a sudden they're regretting it. And they massively are. Yes,
the Olympics is still letting trans women compete. And that's because they have a 3-year waiting period, which seems to be the amount that we need. Also, there hasn't been any trans women dominating any sport because no trans woman has a perfect record.
No. Dominating a sport doesn't mean that you have a perfect record. Okay, Muhammad Ali, some of the greatest boxers in history, don't have a perfect record. Okay, so again, no. Hold on. But hold on. You have to realize that
they can lose some games.
Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, you could lose some games. However, you could also make the argument, you can also make the argument that some of these women are politically driven. These transgender women are politically driven to the point that they'll actually lose on purpose in order to make those points there. Okay?
But
so we don't definitely
to make a bigger fuss.
Politically driven, yes, for certain things. But at the end of the day, if you look at Leah Thomas, who was
it can be on both sides, right?
Yeah, but Melf, yes, I know that. But women cannot fucking throw a game against a transgender a woman in order to make a point. No, they can't. Not necessarily. Not on average. Not on average, Melf. Not on average.
You can ask
On average, transgender women. On average, transgender women can do that for political reasons. Okay.
Because
like I just told you,
that a dude is going to destroy a chick.
Exactly. So they'll ease up. They'll ease up. Look at Leah Thomas. You have plenty of examples of when they were in men's sports, they were fucking losers. They couldn't get anywhere within the men's sports league. But when they transition to women, they're like number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. They're breaking records. Breaking records, Mel.
No, Furby, you don't understand the difference. At a high level, when I was wrestling at a high level, you could throw 100 girls in a row at me, one after another. I would not struggle.
By the way,
you don't understand the physical
videos of like wrestler chicks that like try to like pin a wrestler dude, and he literally just like she tries to do an armbar, and he literally just stands up.
I could literally lift a girl doing an armbar up with my arm when I was in.
Here's a question for you, Mel. Here's a question for you, Mel. Real quick, I just want to see if you can answer.
When you agree with each other,
real quick, Mel.
Can I just wait, Terry? Please,
just let me just real quick. I only need 30 seconds to ask a question, right? Okay. How do you know, to give you the whole kind of like Descartes problem, right? How do you know that like your therapist is not secretly just like someone who's like really like against like like an actual homophobe?
Yes,
he's just trying to push you into this whole transgender thing.
Because I didn't make this decision based on a
with the aim
therapist
that you'll
telling me
actually
I'm
castrate
trans.
yourself.
No, I can already answer you without you needing to finish because I didn't have a therapist tell me I'm trans. I decided to do it myself.
Yeah, but Melv, you do understand, like when it comes to therapy, therapists, etc. If they have a political agenda, they will tell you whatever they want to tell you in order to push
people don't know
said
they're crazy,
agenda. Right, Mel? You can understand that does exist.
But it's very unlikely that the majority.
No, it's very likely.
It's very unlikely that the majority of them will have an agenda. Also, going back to the Leah Thomas thing.
Wait, what?
Breaking records.
So you can't prevent someone.
Someone mentioned breaking records. That's a sport, by the way, where every other meet someone breaks a record. So
that's not true.
No, it's not. A lot of these records actually last for 50 years, 30 years. Years, Mel.
It's not like baseball. It's not like baseball. It's not like
I can tell you've never actually played a sport in your life, Melf. You've never played a sport in your life
yet.
Actually,
no one's worried about trans men.
Swimming in high school.
There are high school records that stand for like 100 years, Mel.
I did do competitive swimming in high school, idiot.
Mel,
like hit him with the trans, hit him with the men's. Trans men, we're not worried about trans.
Let me ask Mel one quick question.
Of course, they're not worried about that. They're not worried about trans men breaking anything. But
can I ask a rhetorical question really quick to Mel? Can I ask one rhetorical question? Mel.
The reason you're wrong.
One question.
Local records. There are state records, and
yes, Mel. I understand. I played sports at a high level. I know, Mel. Can I ask a question real quick? Mel.
He's like Superman.
No, I'm not Superman. No, I wouldn't.
Really quick, Imperious, go ahead and ask your question.
Mel, quick question. You said you knew you were transgender when. How old are you? Can I just ask a serious question? Like I'm gonna ask a genuine question. How old are you?
I'd rather not tell.
Are you above 30?
Sure.
Okay. Then you wouldn't have known that you were transgender. That word was just invented in the early 2000s. You would have been a transvestite.
What? No, it wasn't.
So
no, what I'm saying in the lexicon. In the lexicon.
You think someone can be born
in the lexicon.
Before it was transvestites and transsexuals.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you think someone can be
men
born?
that knew they were men?
It used to be called transsexual before.
Yes, it was transsexual
and transvestites. There was a distinction. And what they've birthed that they've mashed all this shit together.
What does that have to do with? I mean,
guys, we
doesn't.
You're also smart when you agree with each other.
My point is, wouldn't have known that.
I had a question for you. Hold up.
Actually, I'm still trying to respond to Imperious, actually. So, Imperious, do you think it's possible that someone could wake up and be like, even though I was born with a penis, I feel like a girl?
Not if I didn't know the word it was to describe it.
Yeah. Well, schizophrenia is also like a thing.
I can tell you what I did when I was 6 that tells me that I knew that I was trans even before I knew the word. I went up to my friends and I wanted to tell them something that I felt was a little bit of a secret. I didn't know how to put it, but I wanted to like express it because
that you were gay. Sure.
No, Jake, stop projecting onto me, please. And I went up to them and I said, you know what? I'm a half boy, half girl, because that is the best way I could explain it at the age of 5. And they all made fun of me, of course. Yeah. And they all made fun of me. So,
Yeah,
Jake,
well,
you
you know,
don't
okay,
understand
Mel,
the difference
Mel,
between
there's a
sexual
big Mel,
attraction
Mel,
and gender.
it's
Please
just
give
like
me
when
just
I
one
was a
last
kid.
question and I'll shut the
Okay,
fuck up.
all right.
Just one last
Mel,
question.
it's just
Mel,
Mel.
one
It's
sec,
the
one sec,
same
one sec,
thing.
Simp. One
Hold
sec,
on,
one sec,
Terry,
one sec,
Terry,
one
come
sec.
next,
Guys,
man.
guys,
Give me
guys,
one question.
guys,
One question. I'll
guys,
shut the
guys.
fuck up. 1 second. I'll shut the fuck up. Mel, how do you know? How do you know that you're not just a really effeminate man who just wants to look like a woman?
Because if that's all I was, then that's what I would be. It would be much easier.
When I was around 4,
Yeah, but you're
I
saying you're half
wanted
boy,
I
half
wanted
girl.
to be a
So how do you know
girl.
you're not that?
When I was around
Exactly.
4, I wanted to be a girl, and
that
I
persist
eventually
into-
grew out of it.
Did
But
that
if I would
persist
have, but if things would have been the way they are now, I would have been encouraged to affirm my gender, and things would be
Exactly.
quite different now.
Did that,
Yeah.
did that
Because,
persist
like,
for you?
What?
Did that persist for you?
It didn't persist because it was never.
Oh,
it
that's
was
how-
never.
It was never a
because-
thing.
Well, let me
Yeah, that's
finish. It
typically how
didn't
we
persist
know.
because it wasn't. It wasn't affirmed by other people.
Yeah, that's typically how we know. And if somebody were to say not have persistent but reoccurring feelings that they're like a woman, then we might call them gender fluid, right? That's why we have these different categories.
Mel. Okay,
Okay,
let me
so
just-
no,
Mel,
There's-
me down.
there
I'm
are-
up. I'm up.
there
I'm
are-
up. I've
there
waited
are-
long enough.
Damon, you're up. Sorry, 'cause-
There are
So-
boys
so-
who are extremely feminine, and they shouldn't be considered a different gender just because they're really feminine.
And sometimes
Exactly.
they're not.
True.
Sometimes they're not.
So-
Yeah,
No,
sometimes
they're
so-called
encouraged to
Mel.
be
femboys and
considered
stuff.
that. They're
No, sometimes-
encouraged to be
No,
considered.
you might call them a femboy or something.
No,
that's-
they're
No,
not
a femboy's
anymore.
different.
No,
No.
guys,
There's
I need
literally
to
a
ask
feminine
another
boy.
question. Going back to what we were earlier talking about with the sports thing, I just wanted to clear up something first before I ask you the question. With the sports thing, am I right in understanding that you think it's okay to have trans women compete in women's sports, like for example boxing or whatever? That
Well,
it's
does
it's
vary
not
by
a danger.
sport. Boxing is an extreme case. Like
So you don't
if-
you
if
don't
I
want
were-
trans
if I-
women being
okay,
in
let me
boxing?
answer the fucking Jake. Just let me answer his question, please. So, if I could give a milder example, team sports, especially after that athlete has gone through 3 years of hormone.
What about
replacement.
combat sports?
Hold up, let him answer.
Well, it
let
is
him answer.
kind of a combat
that was-
sport. Boxing is kind of a combat sport.
Yeah.
So.
It is a combat sport. That's what I'm saying. Like, would
it
you
is
want
a
trans
combat
women
sport.
in combat sports?
Can Furby answer the question, please?
I don't know
Go,
what your
Freddie.
question was, Damon. What was your question?
Like,
Sorry.
do you think it's okay to have trans women in women's sports? Now, you're saying depending on the sport. I'm asking, for example, let's say boxing. Is it okay? Because the people earlier on were like, yeah, it's totally fine. They should have the freedom to do that. It's a freedom issue. It's them living their life. So you should let a trans woman compete in boxing. Do you agree with that?
If a dude wants to cut his dick off, let him
Dude,
cut his
you
dick
ain't
off.
even
Hold on.
I'm not letting a dude
So
beat
that
the
so
shit out of a woman.
hold on, Terry. So that's a good question. So that's a good.
You ain't even got to go boxing. You can just go with basketball.
Sure.
You want trans women
I
out
just
there?
Yeah,
wanna
but
hear-
but,
I wanna
but hold
hear
on,
what Furby
gentlemen,
says.
gentlemen.
Yeah, no, sorry.
We're distinguishing the difference.
Ridiculous.
Damon is specifically just he gave the example about boxing. Now, boxing,
This is part one of two because
yes,
it
combat
leads into the
sports-
second question.
combat sports and team sports are two different things. We're talking about combat sports here when he's bringing up boxing.
It's
Can you answer
no
his question on
different.
that?
It's no different. You can do the chess.
Imperious, shut the fuck up, bro.
Shut the fuck
Look,
up.
Kinda just riding
those are
this
two
out.
different things. Combat sports and team sports or individual like chess. Those are three different categories here.
Yeah, no, okay.
He's
Jake
asking
as well,
combat
please,
sports here.
Let him answer it. Let Furby answer it.
I kind of want to be difficult and just say yes, women should be able to compete against men in chess. But no. So boxing is complicated, and I can't give you a direct answer because I don't know. I'd want to see data.
You have to, man. If you believe that
No.
they deserve these rights, we need to have absolute rules. This is the problem that your ideology is creating. The vagaries about it all. It
mean,
applies
if
in
it's-
one category, in another category, it doesn't apply. If it's about freedom and if it's about having the freedom to live your life.
Damon, I'm sorry that you don't understand that this varies by sport. 'cause
No,
different
you
sports
don't
have
understand. You're the
different
confused person
demands.
here because you can't give me a straight answer.
I think we should. I think it's good, as we're trying to do, to establish an extreme example,
Yeah.
which would be boxing, and then go from there and then expand it to the other
To the other
sports.
ones,
But-
yes.
That's not
Yeah.
If
always
it doesn't,
how
if it
works.
doesn't
It's not
apply
everything
to
goes the
boxing,
extreme.
if it doesn't apply to boxing, you can't say that it'll apply. It should apply for
The
swimming,
extreme-
or it should
yeah,
apply
the
for something
extreme-
else.
The extreme case tends to tell us less.
No,
about-
that's why I was going at the softest. If it
So
can't apply to chess, it can't apply to any
It
physical
does apply to
sport.
chess. But
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
chess is not physical.
No,
Let's
no,
be
ma'am,
honest.
sir, it does not. No. Hold on here. No.
No, sorry. I thought
There
you meant
can never be a
Imperious, shut
grandmaster.
up. let Furby answer. Let Furby answer.
I thought you meant, by the way, Imperious, I thought you meant men competing against a woman in chess. All your point out is that there's two different categories, woman grandmaster and grandmaster, but I would argue that...
Well, men still dominate chess, that's for sure. But
that's because a woman can't beat a grandmaster in chess. No woman grandmaster can beat a male grandmaster. That's the reason they made a female...
Can we let Furby answer the question about the boxing, please? I need an answer about this.
Yeah, so
because if you're going to say that it's about freedom, if you're saying that it's about freedoms and rights and living your life as a woman, then why are you not letting a trans woman compete against a woman in boxing? You're limiting her rights. You're denying her freedoms. You're
editorialize over my before I can answer. That's a good idea.
Go ahead. Go ahead, answer it.
No, you're answering for me. You're doing great.
Come on.
Don't play the victim. We're letting you answer.
So, the reason that I can't give you a straight answer is because you're asking for a simple answer to a complex solution. And I'm being genuine with you. If I'm working back from the idea that's right, all I'm saying is that by default, we're not opposed to them being able to compete unless we find some evidence that there would be an unfair advantage. But I'm asking for the evidence first, not anecdotes, not misinterpreting stats, or let alone just clutching pearls over some cis girl who cried that she lost a match. I'm asking for actual evidence that this isn't working.
So
can I ask you a question?
No, hold up, Jake.
We already have evidence that males are physically, as far as physically have more strength, and they have physically superior to women in that regard. We already have proof of that. So why do you need more proof than that?
Because it's also been shown that feminizing HRT affects so many different parts of the body and performance that it may as well be.
It still doesn't. It's not enough
so wait,
for that.
Furby, if you believe that, if you believe that,
you know that at all.
So hold up a second,
I know that
Furby.
for sure.
Wait a second, Furby. If you say that you don't have the evidence, if you don't have the evidence yet to show
boxing specifically,
so you would be okay with women boxing then, trans women boxing against women, because you haven't seen any evidence. You're not against it because you don't believe that a trans woman has an unfair advantage over a woman, right?
Especially after taking 3 years of HRT.
Okay. Right, but even if she didn't take the 3 years of HRT, it's a trans woman. It identifies as a woman.
I'd be against it on principle then, because then that would be a biological male competing against a biological female.
Well, here was one of my questions though. Like, in order to be transgender, do you need surgery in order to become transgender?
So this is getting more into the discussion of transgender acceptance by the community.
No. I'm asking you your opinion. Like, let's say I want to be transgender. Do I need to go surgery?
Jake, I'm already answering you. So in terms of the sports thing, we have the standards that way we get rid of the unfair advantages. In terms of the community, no, it is more about self-identity.
Okay, so you're separating sports and self-identity. So within a community, I could say I'm a woman and I'd be accepted as a woman. You would say I am a woman. But with sports, but with sports, you would say that's not enough. I have to go through some type of therapy in order to be a woman. In order to be a woman within sports, do you see the difference there? That you're having two different standards on what is a woman here when it comes to identification?
Apply to sports aren't the same standards.
Well, hold on, but why is it different though? Why is it different though, Mel? Why is it different if you're going to put one standard?
I just answered you, because we don't say it. We don't say in society, oh, we need to make sure that everybody is playing by the rules every single.
Yeah, we do. We say that with society all the time. Yeah.
No, actually, we don't. If you go into your house and you don't play by the
it's
quote-unquote
just the
rules,
social
nobody
construct,
gives a shit.
bro.
So, hold on. If you come into my house and you break my own rules, I would say, yeah, there's a problem there. There's rules to everything, whether it be the workplace, a household, or a business, etc. There's always rules.
If you go into a community, there's going to be rules.
It's always going to be rules.
By the way, if you have a barbecue,
rules are like just
we don't say
if
you have a backyard community
if you have a
backyard community in your neighborhood, you don't say, "Wow, you won that barbecue." You don't say you won the neighborhood. You can't win or lose a neighborhood barbecue.
No.
Are you really going to talk over my answer?
Hold on, Tarek.
Rules are separate from whether someone is losing or winning.
Exactly.
So I don't understand the analogy you're making here.
So
No, I'm
There are
pointing out
laws that govern the
Kazum,
cosmos.
I'm pointing out how something is disanalogous. Therefore, I'm pointing out multiple factors that make it disanalogous. There's also no coaches. There's also no referees. There's no fans. Do you want me to keep going on?
So hold up.
yeah, but that wouldn't make a difference when it comes to
based on-
gender, though. That
But
that
that's
makes no
totally-
sense.
Hang a second, Jake, just one
Rules-
second.
So is society
you-
meant to compare who can perform
Furby.
the best?
Furby, hold up. Can I ask you just a couple of things here? If we've heard your answer about a trans woman competing against women, right? If I was to ask the guys on this panel who don't buy into the trans ideology, if I was to ask them, what do you think would be fairer? A trans woman competing against women. Okay, let's say she's on cross-sex hormones. Let's say the trans woman is taking the hormones, right, and is suppressing the testosterone level. If I was to say to these guys who don't buy into the trans ideology, do you think it's fairer for her to compete against women, or do you think it's fairer for her to compete against men? Most of them, I'm sure, would say, let the trans woman compete against men. That's fairer. That poses
Very
less of a
brave.
danger.
That's very brave,
Sorry?
especially since you don't understand how any of this works.
And you'll be able to
I
call
do
the freaks
understand how
out in
this
the
works.
audience with all the
Okay.
dudes with the bonus.
But hold up. If the
Got you, bitch.
let me ask you right
Wait,
now,
I
though.
didn't hear what you said, Terry, because all you do is ramble in between.
Hold
people
on,
talking
hold
to each other.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm just
Okay,
a wee
hold on.
leprechaun
talking
with
about
the
I have
ball.
the harm.
guys,
Over the
guys,
rainbow,
hold on really quick,
looking
guys. Damon, go ahead and finish. I have a question for you, Melv. After that, Damon, go ahead.
Yeah, so I assume, Mel, that you would disagree and you would think that the trans woman should compete against the women rather than the men, or do you think the trans woman should compete against the men rather than the women? If there was an either or situation, which one would you pick?
Why are you asking me this, Damon?
Because it's a relevant question.
But you have already got the answer, so we can move on from this. I was
No,
trying to move on
the
from
answer
this.
that I got was that
between society and
second.
sport.
the answer that I got from you was that you wouldn't be able to say whether or not the trans woman should be able to compete against women because you don't have the data right. Now I'm asking you, do you think that they should compete against the men then?
So I obviously think the men would have an unfair advantage against them, so I obviously don't think they would. Please use your brain.
Okay, no. I'm using my brain. I'm asking you a question that you didn't fucking answer. Okay, so don't be a little bitch about it. So here's the other thing. If the trans woman is not taking hormones, do you think that they should compete against men? If they're not taking hormones.
Dude, I seriously already answered this.
Hormones aren't the issue. The only issue is they're
he's saying if they're not taking hormones.
Yeah, so by inverse logic, you can, and I said you have to be taking hormones to do the sport. I'm always going to say if you're not taking hormones, you can't do it. Thank you for playing.
Okay.
Fair.
No, but you're a biological man. You're a biological man, even though you identify as a trans woman, and you're not taking any drugs. You're only socially transitioning. There's nothing else that you're doing. Nothing, drugs, no nothing. Cool. So you're just a biological man. So could you be able to safely compete against biological men then in boxing?
How many ways are you going to ask the same question, dude?
Until you fucking answer it, princess. Jesus Christ.
I definitely have.
No, you didn't. You can't even give a straight answer. Jesus Christ.
I think she's already given that answer.
Yeah,
honestly.
she has. Melv did state that you have to be on some type of hormone treatments in order to compete. But if you're socially, it's okay. You're still a woman socially.
Against your same sex, though. I'm asking about your same sex.
Okay,
Why should you be on hormones if you're that thing?
Exactly, and I agree with you, Damon. Another question that I want to ask you, Melv. I want to flip it here.
Can I actually respond to that though for a second? Because I clearly pointed out that there's a difference between society where I think somebody who identifies based on self-identity should be accepted versus sport where I think we should have standards because we're actually trying to figure out who the best competitor is.
Yeah, but it's also an exception even with sports, though.
We already have standards. Men play sports with men. Women play sports with women.
Yeah,
boys play
that was overly
with
simplistic.
boys. Girls play sports.
It's not overly simplistic. You fucking complicated it. You guys came along and complicated it. Yeah. It made perfect sense. It was logically sound. Okay, it was logically sound.
There was plenty of
because what you call trans.
Wait. No, he's
what
wrong.
you call
he's
trans,
wrong.
we just
he's
call.
Like, I'm not wrong.
I'm not wrong. With all due respect,
guys, intersex athletes used to get examined, and plenty of controversy went up around it all the time. Are they men or are they women? They have high testosterone levels, so therefore they have unfair advantage. So you're just fucking wrong.
Well,
We
hold
know
on.
that they are either men or women.
One sec, let me just say.
We know that they're men or women.
You call yourself trans. But what I say is you're just a bisexual that wants to castrate themselves.
I love when you all talk over each other. I love when you all talk over each other because it gives me the option of not
there's always a
responding.
polar opposite.
Okay, gentlemen, really quick.
There's always cold.
Really quick, Terry. I just have a quick question here. Because from my understanding, Melv, you were stating that there's a different, like if I said, if there's no surgery that I've done and I go into sports, I shouldn't be allowed to compete because I wouldn't be considered an actual female. I wouldn't.
Relevant to anything.
No, well, sports, you did state that I need some type of
no, HRT is not a surgery.
HRT. Okay, HRT. What? Yeah. Okay, some type of hormones, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Fine, fair enough. Now, in society, though, I would still be considered a female because I just identify as that. That's fair enough. Now, my question is that let's say it's a woman that wants to compete in male sports, a woman that transitions to be a male. What hormone blockers does she need, or hormones does she need in order to compete with the males?
Testosterone and estrogen blockers.
Okay, so you would require
which triggers menopause.
But wouldn't that be steroids?
menopause.
Again, in sports, steroids is illegal.
Well, they're the steroids.
Enhancements are illegal.
They're the steroids that men are naturally on.
Men.
The what?
They're the steroids that men are naturally on.
No, it's not naturally on.
no.
To put steroids into your body would be an enhancement. Again, if your argument is
actually
is
done
that
by
Asking pharmaceuticals. What pharmaceuticals are you
Yeah, like-
requiring for
athletes who
trans
do
men to
that.
compete with men?
Let Melanie finish the point. Go ahead.
Clarifying.
Jake, there are male athletes who do that. It's not always legal, but
yeah, and that's
there's one
illegal.
way to-
No, for the most part, it is illegal in sports.
But we're
right?
talking about getting trans men to the same level as other men. So that way.
But why would they need to do that if they're men? If trans men are men, why would you need any type of hormones?
It goes back to, remember, we're able to recognize that there's a difference between biology and gender here. So there needs to be something to alter the biology.
So then why not why not other men? Because remember, trans men are men, but why not other men that are born biologically? Why can't they have male enhancements? You know? Why can't they do that if that's the case?
I can answer it because the trans ideology is built on fucking lies. That's why
exactly, and that's my point here. Is that no, that's the difference, Melv.
Wrong.
Is that you will say okay, you will say men need to have trans women need to have Yes, they do. They need to be at a disadvantage. But when it comes to trans men, they need to be enhanced. This is the difference here.
Mel tells us that we're all wrong. We're all wrong. We're
not lying, dude.
Here's the thing, Jake.
We're lying. We're confused. We're lying and we're confused, Jake.
Here's where I want. One sec. I just want to point something out to Jake. I want to point something to Jake because this gets a lot of right wingers lose a lot of quote unquote allies in this argument. There are like quote unquote trans individuals, but like they will say themselves, I am a man. I just like looking like a woman. You know what I mean? There are genuinely those people. It's like think of like Marilyn Manson.
Jake,
like they just want to be as like
Jake, why are you lying?
rambunctious and
bro, I'm not lying at all.
Yeah, there are genuinely, but like what I'm saying is there's genuinely those people that are getting classified as transgender, and those are the good guys in this movement.
Right.
Those are the
But
can you appreciate the irony here, Jake?
It's wild to me, bro, because it's fucking wild to me because because you're hold on. Hold on, because with one
I never once said the word enhancement. I said we're bringing them to the same.
No, that's an enhancement. If you want women competing in men's sports, you need to give them enhancements. This is steroids, right, etc.
No, but we're not giving them an unfair advantage, which is what other men are using.
Yeah, but also with trans men, they're not even fucking competing to the point where they're breaking records or they're winning competitions in actual sports. Right?
When
you know that
men use it, it's to go past their natural capabilities. When we give it to trans men, it's to give them the same capabilities that other cis men within their
but these are two different.
Know what those capabilities are. At what level are you going to determine what? At what level? At what level are you going to determine what their testosterone level should be? No, because testosterone level in men is not a baseline number.
We actually do know.
Okay, what's the level? What's the level? What's the testosterone level? What is it? Tell me the number.
46 micrograms.
No, not about. Give me the number. Give me the exact
no,
number.
Varies
What is it?
No, I can't because it varies per person. You
give
fucking idiot.
Exactly. It
Oh,
varies from
great.
fucking
Yeah, so
person
then
to
that's the
person.
point
Thank
here.
you. So
You're
what
too
fucking
stupid.
person's number are you going to give us then? You're going to give us the optimal person, higher
you're
than
medically
anybody else's
illiterate.
level.
See, you're medically illiterate, so you don't
No,
understand.
I
There's a
work in
range.
fucking medicine, you
There's a
retard.
range.
Oh my
There's a
god, man!
range.
So far off
There's a
base.
He
range.
does
You
work in
don't even
medicine, Mel.
fucking know.
I know more about it
I'm
than
a
you do. That's
fucking medical
incredible.
professional, you fucking
Yeah, I
dissenter.
know.
So hold on. Can I
You
ask
do.
one thing before I go? I just
Couldn't be
I
more
gotta
wrong.
fucking-
Literally, Jake, could not
I
be
gotta get
more
out of here,
wrong.
but let me
I'm
ask this
about
one
to
thing to
fucking
Furby.
educate you
Okay,
on how
I'm not gonna
sociometries
get-
work.
Furby, I gotta
Gentlemen,
go.
I'm not
gentlemen,
going to
two
get
hours
educated
ago.
on an issue
Gentlemen,
by somebody
gen-
who is mentally ill. I'm
Furby,
sorry.
Gentlemen,
Furby,
gentlemen,
I
we
gotta-
gentlemen, gentlemen, we will
When it
continue
comes
this.
to test-
Hold on, really quick. Imperious, you had something to say before you jet
Yeah, I
out.
just gotta head out, but I just want to say. So, Furby, are you saying that when somebody takes hormones, that it is going to somehow change the body structurally? Because remember, males and females have structural integrity of the body that are changed and are determined
Those are just meaningless
pre-puberty.
buzzwords so far.
No, hold on, pre-puberty, right? You understand that genetically, structurally, there are differences that are
Yeah, I get that you're
changed
signaling to
pre-puberty.
post-puberty differences. Most of those are reversed. The ones that aren't really that.
No,
big of a
No,
difference in
but hold on. Let me finish what I'm
Reverse
saying.
bone
Hold-
density.
Let me
Just
hold
answer-
on.
It doesn't
Hold
matter
on,
what you're
may
going to say.
I
I already
finish?
answered it.
No. It does matter
Okay.
because anything pre-puberty, you're either going to say you would give puberty blockers to, but the problem is that you can't change those things because those things are determined usually in the womb at some time.
Okay. Cool.
So hold on.
You're
hold
still
on.
going. Wow.
So yes. So leading to the question, what I'm asking, how can puberty blockers be quote reversible? If you're saying that you could give the hormones to things
Oh my
that
God.
can't be reversed or
Your
changed.
literacy is incredible. So when we say puberty blockers are reversible, it means when we take them off of somebody off of them, they will go back to having their natural puberty. What I mean,
And what if they
From
be
that stage.
micropenis?
what I mean,
So
From that
the,
stage.
so the natural
But if-
state is having a greater
Yeah,
bone density,
what if the chemical
larger lung
castration makes
capacity,
not
larger
micropenis?
heart capacity.
okay,
How
Imperious,
is that going to
calm
take
down.
away the differences you're looking to take away from by giving him
So-
puberty blockers?
I'm
I
talking
don't
like this
think
thing
you-
looks like
if
a
you
Tic
wait
Tac.
too
Oh, I
long,
can't
it's
even
not.
answer
If you
because
wait too
Kiriak
long,
needs
it's
to
not
re-
fully reversible. It's
So-
partially reversible.
Yeah, and they're left with a Tic Tac.
No. So
So-
Kazume, there's a
Oh
little
my God.
misunderstanding there. It is fully
If you pull 'em
reversible,
with that thing with the
but
tweezer.
what's fully reversible is the block itself. So
So
if you
I'm
would have
talking
naturally
about
gone through
puberty.
puberty, so Furby, stop for a second. If you would
I'm
have
trying to
naturally
answer
gone through
Imperious
puberty,
still. None of your
I'm
names is
answering.
Melanie.
I'm answering Kazumi.
So I
Stop for a
can't
second.
believe any
Shush,
of you
shush,
fucking talk
hush
at
up.
all. Because I
Calm
was
your
still
tits.
talking this whole
Stop
time,
talking.
and you
I
just
cut
kept
in.
talking like
Shut
you're
the
the most
fuck up.
important person in the
Shut the
person in
fuck up.
I can
Shut the fuck
wait.
up.
I'm
So-
sorry for interrupting
Yeah,
things.
Hold
you
up.
don't interrupt me. No, you
No,
interrupt
dude,
me.
Kazumi-
interrupt them, dude.
you're-
I'm out of here. Screw you
Kazumi-
all.
It's the
Yeah,
mentally ill
Have a
person
good night,
that's
guys.
always the most entitled, isn't it?
No
Go
worries,
ahead,
Kazumi.
Furby.
Kazumi, you got to
That's-
jump in there, dude. It doesn't matter. You're on a war. It's a blood sport thing, dude. Just jump
Actually,
in.
these
You
are all
want it.
rhetorical questions
All
from
right.
people who think they're way smarter than they are. Just like Damon, who doesn't
You gotta
understand
embrace-
there's
you gotta embrace chaos,
stoichiometries
Kazumi,
in our
you know what I'm
blood.
saying?
So there's a certain range of testosterone that is normal for
Chaos is
everybody.
progress,
And there are ranges
is
that are not.
creativity.
We obviously wouldn't.
Yes,
give the
and you're not
trans man-
going to tell us which
a
level
test-
you're going to allow for those people to take. At
Yeah, no,
what
we would
point are
give
you
them
going to
the
draw the
same
limit?
normal range. We would give them
At
the
what
same
point?
normal range for
They
their
don't have a
body
normal
weight.
range. They're fucking women. They don't
we
have
would-
those levels of
as we
testosterone. So the
would.
normal
You gotta let
level
me
of
finish, dude.
testosterone is
You gotta let me
nothing.
finish. You're not as smart as you think you are, so you gotta let me finish here. We give
And
them
you're
the same
mentally ill.
normal range as we would a cis man. Wow, it's super hard to figure out.
Yes, but which cis man, you fucking idiot? Which one?
The typical one.
The typical one. Typical
Yeah, bell
ones
curve.
don't end up being world
Yeah, so
record
look up what a
lifting
bell curve is.
bodybuilders.
Go look
Okay,
up what a bell curve
typical
is,
ones.
idiot.
Typical
Hey, idiot.
ones
Hey,
aren't
idiot.
fucking
Go look up
boxing
what a bell curve
champions.
is.
That's
Hey,
true.
idiot.
Typical
Hey, idiot,
typical
go look
ones
up what a
aren't
bell curve
boxing
is.
champions. You fucking
idiot.
moron.
Idiot, go look
Guys
up a
with
bell curve.
typical levels of
Hey, idiot.
testosterone don't
we-
win championships.
And the
You
point is,
fucking idiot.
and the point isn't to make them dominate. So we're going to give them normal levels, not anything on the outer edges
Normal
of the bell
levels
curve.
wouldn't let them escalate to the
A
level of
bell
being a
curve,
champion.
a bell
But if-
curve, a
if-
bell curve, which is a thing you've never heard of in your life, apparently.
Dude, you're a fucking bell end.
If they wouldn't have went on puberty blockers, they might have been able to be the world champion boxing or whatever, or weightlifting or whatever. But when you've put them on puberty blockers, they have no chance of having that sort of outcome.
That's not true either.
Yes, but this is why I pointed out.
So here's the thing that I was telling Kazumi before. Kazumi, no, Furby, shush. Kazumi's talking now, and I was going to answer the question that I answered him earlier.
It's insulting to athletes. You're actually insulting athletes. These people train.
Oh God, yes. In your book, where everyone's insulting to everybody. Jake, can you mute this clown for a second so that I can answer something to Kazumi?
All right. So really quick, Melv,
but that's all right.
So really quick, Melv. Damon, go ahead and answer the question. Go ahead, really quick.
Okay, so Kazumi, when they say that puberty blockers are fully reversible, technically, according to the language and how it's phrased, they're 100% right. They are fully reversible because what they are is they're blockers. So if you're going to say that a blocker is fully reversible, it means that the block itself can be fully reversed, which means that if you are going to go through, you personally, if you're going to have a period of puberty from the ages of, let's say, 9 to 19, okay, and you're a man, when you start going through puberty, shut the fuck up.
Hold on, let him finish, and then we'll get to you.
I'm telling you to keep the comment you just took down on screen so I can respond to it.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's have that. Go ahead, Damon.
So Kazumi, if you were going to go through puberty from the age of 9 to 19, and at the age of 11 you started taking puberty blockers, okay, you would have started going through puberty from the age of 9 to 11. Now, at 11, that puberty that would have been stopped, okay, it would have been blocked. Now, if you started at that point and then you ended at the age of 18, okay, what most people are led to believe when they hear the phrase it's fully reversible is that if you stop taking it, your body's going to it will be paused, and then you're going to continue through another few years of puberty, not just one, but you're going to have that age that from when you stopped to when you restarted going through puberty. You would have had that whole period, and you'll go through a natural full cycle of puberty. But no, you're only going to have that one extra year. The block will be fully reversed, okay? And you're going to resume going through puberty, but only from the age of 18 to 19. So it's not like you're now suddenly going to go through 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You're only going to get that last year of puberty, which is at the level that your body produces those hormones at its weakest. It's the tail end of puberty. So you're going to keep that practically micro penis. You're not going to get that muscular skeletal development.
Micro penis. Okay.
You're not going to have. If you took the blockers at the age of 11 and you only started going through puberty at 9, yeah, you pretty much would have a micro penis. It's pretty safe to say.
So there's been
you would, because you're lying.
From the research on this.
No. It's true. I've seen the operations, dude. I've seen the operations. I've seen the operations.
I've seen the data on this. So
but I've not seen the data the way you have. I've actually seen the real statistics that we look. I've looked at actual patient profiles. I've seen the patients on the operating tables.
Guys,
I've seen the patients on the operating tables.
Hold on, guys, really quickly. Melv, you wanted to reply to something here, or you're telling me something?
Well, I'm gonna tie these things out and all together.
Okay.
So first of all, the data has shown us that puberty can go much longer in someone's life than what we thought. In fact, trans women who transition in adults are shown to have a second puberty from going through estrogen. So it's not so while there have been some studies that do agree with you, Damon, there have also been other studies that have shown the opposite. So mixed results.
No, they haven't. Not the opposite. Okay. Be honest. Be honest. Cool. It's not the opposite. Use words that actually mean something.
No, I've seen studies that say both. And second, I'm responding to Cody's King now. So please bring that up, Jake.
Oh yeah, hold on really quick. This is the one that you were gonna
address, so these are all things that you want to be scientifically literate on if you understand these things like me. So just do better. The problem with citing the XXX chromosome here is that the XXX chromosome or XX chromosome does not participate in actually when you do sports. In fact, the hormones you take, if you understand systems biology, you know that the hormones you take might actually change which parts of your chromosome gets transcripted, thus changing how it is expressed. And so its involvement is very irrelevant, especially considering that these are so many degrees.
Are you a biologist?
It's not irrelevant. You can't use words that don't mean what you think they mean.
Solid.
You can't say it's not irrelevant, that it's irrelevant.
So what is
it's not irrelevant.
How does the XX chromosome enhance performance?
Dude, to say that it's irrelevant is just on the face of it bullshit.
Oh, well, you can't
know
answer,
this.
so it is irrelevant.
You know, oh yeah, of course I can't answer. Okay, yeah. I'm not even going to engage.
So
I'm not even going to engage in this bad faith bullshit.
So how is the
it's
how is
so
the
bullshit.
XX chromosome?
Dude, do you
in
honestly,
performance?
are you trying to suggest, or do you actually believe that people who are intersex, for example, are some kind of third gender?
How does the XX chromosome?
Do you answer the question? Answer the question.
I asked my question first.
Why,
I asked
man?
my
They got
question
two
first. Please answer mine.
Dude, I'm not even going to fucking engage in this stupidity,
Okay,
dude.
likewise
You
then.
don't understand the
Likewise.
fucking shit that you're reading. You don't understand the shit that you're
clearly
reading.
don't. You didn't understand what
Dude,
you
dude,
didn't understand what
you-
nominal
according to-
testosterone levels are, dude. You don't
according-
even know what a
Dude,
nominal testosterone level is.
I asked you that fucking question. Where would you
answered
determine the
I was
limit? And you
confused.
couldn't give an
I
answer.
answered. Yes, I did.
You
just get
didn't
confused
fucking answer
easily.
it. Jake,
You just
yeah,
get
well,
confused
the answer-
easily.
Melv, no, Melv, you said it's based off of an individual aspect. You didn't actually give an actual number.
I said
Thank you
that
very
there's a
fucking much.
nominal range, a typical range.
Mel,
of cis
Mel,
men.
Mel,
but
I said
you're
truth.
the
I said
only
there's a
person here.
nominal range.
You're
I said-
the only
Jake's
person here
dyslexic, so,
confused
like-
with what you are. You're the
I said-
only person here confused with what you are.
I'm
You're
not
the
confused. I know I'm a
only
trans woman.
person here.
I've
You
known
don't
other
know
trans
what you
women
are.
since the day I
Okay,
realized
what is that?
So-
Tell us what that is. Tell us
It's
what that
someone
is.
who does not identify with the genitals they were born with.
So what do you identify as then?
A woman.
What is
I
that?
identify as Vince McMahon.
What is a woman?
Yeah.
Somebody who interacts with the cultural expectations for what a woman is. And I'm sorry that sounds.
But what? No,
That's
no, no.
brilliant.
But what is the
You
woman
can't
part?
use
No, that's
gender
circular.
conforming.
That's
The word-
circular. What is the
No,
woman?
no, that's
No, no.
circular. You
That is
cannot-
gender conforming.
you
One
cannot-
sec. Let me
a lot of
steal
guys,
my-
guys,
one
guys,
second.
guys,
cannot use
Jake,
the
hold on, steal
word
mine.
you're
Let me-
defining in the definition
steal
of the
mine.
word.
Okay.
Yes, you can
Let-
actually.
let-
A lot
let
of
me
Yes, you
people
can.
make
No, no, no,
comments.
no, no, no.
Jake, I've
Look,
got questions for you.
Kism's
I've got
right.
questions for you, Jake. Jake, no, hold up. Before we get into this with Mel, I've got questions for you.
Wait,
Can you ask me what I identify
so
as
smart
being?
when you agree with each other.
Damon, what do you identify as being?
I identify as Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States.
There you go.
Can you
I
tell me
identify
if you
as Vince
believe me?
McMahon.
No.
You're
Can you
also
tell me if you
smart
believe me or
and
not?
so
Can you
brave.
tell me if you believe me or not?
I absolutely
let me
do not
steal
believe
mine.
you. I absolutely
Why
do
do
not
you not
believe you.
believe me,
Jake,
Jake?
let me
Jake,
steal
why
mine.
do you?
Because-
Jake, hold up, everybody. Jake, why do you not believe that I'm Abraham Lincoln, President of the United
Wow,
States?
you're
Why is
being-
that?
Because Abraham Lincoln has passed away. He's not here. He's not in existence. Your
Thank you. So do
delusion.
you know what you did there? Do you know what you did there?
What did I do?
You disproved what I identified as because you knew what
The
that
facts.
thing was.
Yes.
You know, you knew the thing that it was.
Yes.
I told you that I identify as a certain thing. You know
Right.
what that is. Therefore, you know that I'm not that thing. All
Correct.
of us here who are not
Hey.
mentally ill know what a woman is. And therefore, we know that Melvin is not a woman because we know what a woman is. And we know that he's not that thing.
My main issue
No,
is
answer
the
me what a
notion
woman is. No,
you
you tell
can't
me.
you
You tell
can't
me what is
you
a woman.
can't define a
Kazum's
word
talking.
and
What is
use
a
the
woman?
word you're defining in its definition.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Kisler's
so
no,
you can't.
he's
It's bullshit.
100% right.
Can I steal mine?
No,
I
Can
know
steal
Kism
mine?
is right.
Jake,
Kism's
let me
right
steal
about
mine.
that. You
Let me steal
cannot-
mine. Let me steal
Wow,
mine.
Jake. I'm so
No,
sorry
let me
to
steal mine.
agree
But
with someone
Kism-
it's called
so
Munchausen's
stupid.
trilemma.
Melv.
It's called Munchausen's trilemma. You cannot be
Oh,
100%
okay.
certain about anything because it'll always come back to a circular definition or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let me steal man this position, right? But what I'm pointing
You're
out
not
is
helping,
what
Kerry.
Furby's
I'm
what
trying to
Furby's pointing to
respond. You're
is
just cutting in when we're trying to
what Furby's
talk to
pointing
each
to is
other. Hold
gender
on.
conformity. What Furby's pointing to is gender conformity, and I brought this up in the debate. You're pointing to gender conformity, and you want you want gender norms inside it where you want to appear like Dylan Mulvaney, for example. It's like very hyper for like female, all this kind of shit.
see,
You know what I mean?
see-
And by proxy, what you're going to do is you're going to genocide young people like Kazum.
Yep.
If Kazum's 9 years old, he's confused about because he likes boys, but does that mean that he's a woman who likes boys or what? There's all this additional layer of complexity.
So how does this answer what a woman is?
And the cost to getting
Well,
this
you
call wrong as a doctor is you're going to castrate and mutilate what would have been a homosexual boy.
I'm
So-
just,
so
I'm
Terry,
just saying
off the back of that,
you can't define a woman as anyone who identifies
define
as
a
a
woman?
woman.
As a woman, exactly.
Okay.
That's
Not
that's
when the
not,
cross
that's
is
not a
constituted.
valid. That's like
Define a woman.
saying the Bible
Okay, you
is
do it
the
then.
Bible
Show me
is
how
true
it's done.
because it says it's true.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tucker,
exactly.
Show me how it's done.
But-
But, be smart, guys. Show me
but-
how it's done.
But Mel,
So, okay,
look,
I'll show you
Mel,
how it's
I
done.
need-
Now,
can you give us-
Christians agreed with that, Kazum.
Define a
Even
woman
Christians
is-
agree
define
with
a
that.
woman.
A woman
Mel,
is a
Mel, can you give us a definition of a woman without being a
guys.
circular definition, please? Can you just give us a definition of what it is without a circular definition?
It's a social contract. So what society expects it to be is what it is. This thing varies heavily by culture.
But what is it though? What is it exactly?
You want simple solutions for complex problems, and I can't.
No,
Oh
we
my
don't.
God, this is the thing with fucking liberals. Everything's complex to them. Everything's so complex.
It's all subjective, bro.
Here's
It's
the
all
answer.
subjective.
How is
What-
it?
hold on.
Magical answer.
Bro, what is up? Hold on, what is up?
What is your
Tell me what
definition?
up is. Tell me what up
What is
is.
a woman? What is
What is
woman?
up?
No,
If
Tell-
it's so
can you
easy-
point to
Adult
up?
human
Can you-
female.
Can you point to a
adult
direction?
human
What is up?
female. A
What is
woman
up?
is an adult human female.
Adult?
Can I give an answer that's
Hallelujah,
not
Kazoo.
adult human
How do
female?
we-
Because so trans
wait,
people don't
wait,
like the answer
wait.
that a woman is an adult human
So-
female. And Mel
I
asked
walk up
us.
to someone in the
Mel,
street.
I'm answering
I
your
walk up to
question. You
someone in
asked
the
us.
street. No, I want to
You
respond
asked
to
us.
the person who actually
You
answered my
asked
question,
us
please.
first. How do we answer what a woman is? And whenever a trans person asks us, how do we define what a woman is? Because you don't like that answer if it's an adult human female, I'll give you another one. And this is the answer that every trans person should be given when they ask. Every trans woman should be given this question when they ask, "What is a woman?" A woman is the opposite of what you are. Okay, it's
cool.
that simple.
So,
It's not what you are. Okay.
So I like the answer I got better because that was at least more concise. Adult human female. So I want to dig into that a bit. How do we know someone's a female?
By their biology.
Okay,
So there's different
Girls have
ways.
a penis,
spectrum,
girls
dude.
have a vagina.
Biology is a
So-
complex spectrum. It's not that fucking simple. We need to
it's
be
not simple.
re-educated. We need to be re-educated on biology
so it's
by
not
somebody
simple.
who is a biology denier.
It's
Okay.
actually-
Yeah, so obviously there's certain traits.
It's
We
really
have to
So-
look at the biology denier to define to us what
Charles
biology
Berkeley-
is.
So-
Shut up,
I
man.
just
It's
need y'all
really
to stop
fucking
smirking.
simple, man. All you
So-
gotta do is
I mean,
So
look at the fucking.
I think
usually
a
when
lot of
meet people, because I want to ask something, because usually when I meet people in the street, I don't think what their biology is, right? To figure out if they're a man or a woman. So how does that tell me what a woman is?
no, because
there's
most
the
people
there's
are-
all,
to the
there's
globe,
okay
maybe.
another way of defining a woman is, and I don't think this is a good definition, but it's one that can kind of work, but it's all of the stereotypes that come with gender roles and appearances that are attached to a specific to a female.
Yeah, a specific.
all the stereotypes, the mannerisms, all of the gender roles and things associated with those gender roles that are attached to a female.
You know what's funny
And
about
wouldn't you
gender
look at it
roles
through the lens
is
of
that
gender
there was once a
conforming versus
time
gender
where people
nonconformity?
where men actually wore pants, and it was
They're out to
expected
get
of
the
men,
gays, man.
or sorry, that it was expected of men to wear dresses because we didn't know how to make pants, and
Hansel
so it was,
and Gretel.
and so
Why do all
The
of the
idea of
trans
wearing
ideology
dresses-
talking points rely on going back thousands of fucking years?
I have a
Yeah,
question for
exactly.
Kazum. I have a question for Kazum. I have a question
Why
for
is
Kazum.
Well,
Is
looking
that
at
the-
I have a question
society
for
that
Kazum.
fucking
I have a question
failed.
for Kazum. I have a question for Kazum. What is it about wearing a dress that is exclusive to women?
Society.
That seems circular to me.
Really quick, Mel.
There's
This is a
difference
question.
between a man
Society.
wearing a dress
You never
and a
asked
man
me a
thinking he's a
question
woman.
that said society in it. I'm not using a word in a definition that I'm trying to define. I'm not
Now
using
we
that
know
same
why
word.
the Now
look,
we know why the left says gender is a social construct.
Mel,
So, okay,
I have a question. Hold on,
I'm
gentlemen.
just saying, I think
this-
I think it's kind of sad to break women apart into just their gender stereotypes in
Oh no,
just their.
I
Hallelujah.
stand in solidarity with them, so no one's being broken apart.
So really quick, Melv. This is a good question from Spyro here. He says, if AI gained the consciousness, human consciousness, and it said it was a woman, would you believe that the AI was a woman?
I have to engage with the hypothetical, even though I don't believe AI will.
Yeah,
gain
but let's say AI did. Let's say
am
it gained
engaging.
human
I'm
consciousness.
Still engaging. I'm still
Okay.
engaging. I would just say yes because we probably will be like he or she for conscious AIs. We will use pronouns,
Okay.
and so it just follows.
Okay, so you would believe the AI that it's a woman, and
Like
and
people will say like
it's
she
you have a
reference to
machine,
Alexa.
a Terminator, and says that I'm a woman. Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, and says I'm a woman.
That was
But
the
people will say
T2000.
she in
Amazing.
response to Amazon Alexa, right? Like they'll say she told me to buy this.
'Cause it's
right?
called
we can't
Alexa.
do that.
Yeah, my job
can
is done.
send-
Yes, Spyro, thank you for the question, bro.
Jake,
social constructions be
I don't know what his
objective?
job was because I don't agree with the.
His job is literally exposing the stupidity of your logic
he didn't
here.
expose anything because I don't.
Yes,
agree
you
with
literally
it.
will believe an AI that says it's a woman. This is the lunacy here. If a lion said,
wait a minute here. Wait a minute. If an AI had a female name,
I didn't agree
and
with
also
the premise,
and they also
and so
had
therefore it
a
didn't expose
voice,
anything.
an actual audible
That it can
voice that
change-
sounds like a woman, then it would be easy to refer to that AI as being a woman.
She.
but it's not a woman. It's not an actual. It's not a female. It's not an adult human female. That's the thing, right? Under the definition, it still would not be a woman. It still wouldn't be a female. That's the point here.
Can I address a point that was made earlier?
Okay, Jake, just
If
keep
I could
dodging.
real quick, here's a
keep
wild
dodging
thought for you.
proving that you're wrong yet again because I did
Okay,
not
I'm wrong
say-
about the AI. An AI is a woman.
I
Then
did not say yes, Floro. I agree. AI can be sentient, so I do plan on doing that. I said I do not plan on doing this because I don't think it's a reality. Therefore, you didn't expose anything.
yeah, but no.
Jake, please,
It's
can I address a point that Furby made earlier when he was basically trying to say like what determines whether or not it's acceptable for a man to wear a dress or not, right? It's interesting that you brought that point up because that's pretty good if we look at how the trans ideologies developed over recent years.
Yeah.
So basically, here's the thing: the way we determine whether or not it's okay for men to wear dresses or for women to dress like a man and think they're a man and present as a man, it's not something that's like this kind of weird social construct. We need to look at the way that occurs, and the way that predominantly occurs is by people bullying one another to kind of make them learn of what is socially acceptable or not. This starts at childhood. Okay, we all had that one friend who were like, "That's gay, dude. Don't do that." Right? Yeah. And we would bully them into that. Or you look weak. That's pathetic. That's stupid. That's retarded. Don't fucking do that. Don't act that way. Don't dress that way. Don't even have that facial expression because we're going to bully you for it. There was always the poor kid, the outcast, the weird kid, the queer kid, and that kind of bullying helps you develop. Otherwise, you're going to be ostracized from the pack. And we see this all across the animal kingdom. Across the animal kingdom. It's not just the weak one that's bullied. It's the one that doesn't fit in that's bullied, which is why it's very interesting that the way they made this trans ideology take root was by first eliminating bullying from schools. You cannot fucking bully anyone now. And since we removed bullying from schools, people identifying as queer or trans or part of the LGBTQ fucking skyrocketed. And that is what you need to understand.
There's been a lot of good
Elton
research.
John.
I think it's a good thing that people are able to be something that doesn't line up with stereotypes. I think it's nice that people can be themselves more. It allows more creativity. It allows.
But that's the point. You can't, Kazumi. That's the point. You can't, because we're living in a day and age now where you can't just be weird. You can't be strange. You can't be kooky. You can't be eccentric. You can't be a tomboy. You can't be a soft guy. You're always pigeonholed in one of these categories. You're either autistic, you're on the spectrum, you've got some kind of autism, you're gay, you're trans, you're this, you're that. They're going to pigeonhole you in it. They're going to categorize you, and they're going to make you do it willingly.
That's fair. That's a fair argument. That is what's happening. Yes.
This is what identity politics is all about. Identity politics is all about getting people to segregate themselves, pigeonhole themselves, so that we can categorize them. We can put them in these little kind of boxes, and we know exactly how to pull their strings, control them. And then ultimately, when the time comes and these people rise to power, we're going to know exactly which people to line up against the wall.
Of course.
I think that the Vikings, male Vikings cheerleaders brings up something. I think it brings up something that it's
and the Patriots.
It's saying people are really angry because there are men that are taking feminine roles and they just can't handle it. It blows their mind. They can't. You've got people. It's almost as bad of a situation when it comes to boycotting and such as the Bud Light situation, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
People are just pissed, and it's just like, hey, these aren't people that are saying, they're not saying they're girls, they're just feminine men, and they just can't handle it.
Yeah, Kism, I'll even tell you this, just to go far on here, that people made a big deal about the cheerleaders with the Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings, etc. Let's be honest here. Usually when it comes to the male cheerleaders that we've seen, they usually dress in loose clothing, fully clothed, etc. These cheerleaders that are there,
Don't they wear dresses?
pom-poms are wearing tight clothing. They're more in line with a feminine attire.
Wear tight clothing.
Feminine attire than that. And dude, here's the difference. Hold on. Here's the difference. Is that the majority of people that watch the NFL, hold on, dude. The majority of people that watch the NFL are not fucking gay dudes watching football. They're not doing that. Women will watch football because of their because of their fucking boyfriends, etc. The majority of the audience are straight males. Straight males. They're not there to watch a fucking man jump around in skinny tight outfits cheering on a football team, bro. It's just not. It just doesn't correlate with the audience.
But Jake,
you could tell this is virtue signaling. All right,
Jake,
this is exactly what it is.
It's not even virtue signaling.
Jake,
It's
why how come in female
comply with your
football,
shit.
Jake, how come in female football we don't have men? in
What
short
female
skirts?
football are you talking about? What female football?
Women's football. Women's football.
What is that? What is that? What league?
You don't know what women's football
What
is?
league?
You're
What
talking
league are
about
you talking
soccer.
about?
Are you
Doesn't
talking
matter.
about soccer?
What
Let's
league?
just talking
Doesn't
about it
matter.
in general. Just
Doesn't
the
matter.
concept
It's
of.
irrelevant.
Let's just
You
go
guys
with the
are so
concept of women's
disrespectful.
football.
Okay, but what league are you talking about? The lingerie league?
Hold on, it doesn't
The football
matter.
lingerie
How
league?
How come
many-
there
The
how
are
many
actual
men
playing
male
of the football,
Shit.
the
Oh my
playing.
God.
Why does there have to
There
be a
are male
lingerie
cheerleaders.
league? What are you
Because
talking
that
about?
does
What are you
exist.
on about?
That exists. There's a lingerie league of football.
Guys,
But what league are you
Jake, I'm
talking
out,
about?
man.
He's just
I gotta go, Jake.
He's just spurging.
Have a
It's
good one,
irrelevant to
Damon.
My question.
Take it easy, bro.
My question is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you please
take
play
care,
in that
guys.
league?
It's like gone 6 o'clock in the morning here, but cheers for the convo.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jake, for organizing it. Cheers, Teriak. The
pleasure,
rest of
bro.
you guys in the chat. Thank you to everyone in the chat.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, cool. Have a good one. Mel, good to see you again. I hope everything's cool. And
Oh yeah. No
yeah,
hard
yeah,
feelings,
cool.
bro.
Cool for
the
the
best
yeah.
part of my day.
Yeah.
Cool. Hopefully you get to sleep after all of this.
Yeah.
And,
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah. We'll pray for you. No, I'm joking. So unless you want us to. If you want us to, we'll pray for you.
Yeah, we
But
need
anyway,
consent. We need consent for that prayer. Okay, we need
Jake
consent.
has more energy than me at this point. I'm past my threshold. I'm starting to wind down.
I know.
No.
Look, I don't
take care and see you all guys next time. Cheers.
All righty, man. Have a good one.
have a good one, bro.
Can I ask my question? Just please let me ask my question in full.
Okay.
How come in women's football we do not see men in short skirts doing little dainty dances and their little cheerleader thing? Because we have straight women watching that.
How
No,
many
you
women are
don't.
watching?
No, you don't.
We
No,
have-
no, no.
we
Hold
have
on, hold
male
on.
cheerleaders.
This is
We
why
have
it's
male
important.
cheerleaders.
Hold on, listen, guys.
So
He
if
made the
men's
no,
football is for men, why is it women's football for
Melv.
women?
You're making the claim that there's female football leagues. Okay, what football league are you talking about?
I'm not. I can't name one offhand. I'm
Because
just asking
okay, because again, there I can name
It
one,
exists.
the lingerie football league. Do you think that
great.
women?
Men
Do you think
watching that.
women? You think the vast majority of people watching the
That's not the only-
lingerie
that's not the
football
only
league?
women's
Hold
football
on.
league out there.
Okay, well then name another one then.
Doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. to me.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll give you one
It's
example.
irrelevant
The
to my
lingerie.
question.
Hold on, I'll give you the lingerie football league. The majority of people that are watching the
literally
lingerie
just
football league
distracted
are
from
not
my
women. Women
not
do not
answering
watch
my question.
football. They're not watching women play
You're
football.
not answering my
Okay.
question. And you can't answer my question.
Yeah, because your question
My point
doesn't
is very
exist.
obvious.
You can't
Okay.
ask
It's very
somebody why
obvious.
someone's not
If
watching
men's
something that
football-
doesn't exist,
if
dude.
men's football is for men, then it should follow that women's football is for women.
That's not true. No, look at dude.
When I
again,
look on
do you
Google,
think?
I see. When I look on Google, it says yes, there are several women's tackle football leagues in the United States.
Okay.
The two most prominent are the Women's Football Alliance (WFA) and the Women's National Football Conference (WNFC).
Okay, great. Didn't even know that. So again, I'll tell you
We're all
this:
learning.
how many women are watching those leagues? Do you think the vast majority of that audience? And by the way,
more than
where do
that.
they air that? Where do they air that? Where on TV? Where?
Sounds like some
Satellite.
Okay, how
Where?
do you
Satellite
how,
TV.
what's
Because
the,
ESPN ain't covering that shit. Where?
How about women's basketball? What is the
now? That's a better idea. Okay, WNBA. That's a better fucking. That's a better example of the WNBA.
So that's disanalogous.
Oh, it's so then how do you know that there's men cheerleaders in these leagues?
No. Now it's disanalogous when there's actually an audience for it. Now it's disanalogous.
There's no audience for those fucking female football leagues. There's no audience.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's because it doesn't exist. But when there's actually a sport that actually has an audience, it's disanalogous.
Exactly.
Because they don't have cheerleaders in there. Yeah, because the whole point.
Oh my God, Melf! But again, name a football league with women that has an audience. Where is it? Where is it? Tell me. You don't even know, dude. You're just making shit up.
And you're just making up reasons to pretend
I don't see anything wrong with trying to expand I mean, there are gay men who watch football. I don't know what the percentage is. I think someone told me it was around 30%.
No, it's not 30%.
Well, it's not. It's certainly not like 5% or something. And there are a number of gay men. Maybe they're not the feminine ones. Maybe gay
men make up 2% of the United States. Okay, do you think that 2% make up 30% of the audience of the NFL? Fuck no.
I'm not saying 30%. I'm not saying 30% of the audience. I'm saying
I know, but you heard.
I'm saying 30% of gay men have interest in those things.
Okay,
that's not saying that they. Yeah, that's not saying.
Okay,
that,
fair enough. Fair enough. So I got you there.
I just don't think there's. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be more inclusive with as far as the target audience. I don't think there's anything wrong with being
but that's
more
not the target.
inclusive.
But that's the difference. That's not the target audience.
You're right, because
you can have multiple.
No, look at Bud Light.
You can have
Look,
you can have multiple target audiences.
Yeah, but here's the difference. When you target the minority, just look at Bud Light, for example. When they wanted to put their spokesperson as Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender, their fucking stock went down. Look at Jaguar. That's another example.
They just said Dylan Mulvaney.
The thing about the Bud Light situation is people.
Well, what about the Jaguar situation?
People were mad about it being a transgender issue, and a guy saying that they're a woman. Look at
the American Eagle, the latest example with Cindy Sweetie. Whatever, that stock jumped up 20% when they got Cindy Sweetie instead of their fucking black gay women and the transgender
that are heavy set.
Like, so now we're doing go broke. Fine, I don't want corporations.
No, because you've seen that. Look, you see this. The point is, when he's saying there's nothing wrong with appealing to a minority of an audience, okay, fine, maybe, but let's do it from a business perspective. There is something wrong with that, because people are these companies will lose money if they cater fully to a minority of an audience. Okay, we've seen that with Bud Light, we saw that with Jaguar, and even with American Eagle, where they got Cindy Sweetie, the poster child of a fucking hot chick with big tits. Their shit skyrocketed 20% in stocks, bro.
So not
doesn't this kind of show, though, that some of the feminists are right that about patriarchy?
Yeah, patriarchy exists. That's a good thing. Yes.
Jake, if I may ask you something, how come before the right wing started having outrage campaigns against these exact things, did we actually see their stocks go up in response to these pro LGBTQ plus campaigns?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So during the time with Barack Obama, that's when a lot of the social justice warriors was going up in popularity. We saw this. Look, even with women voted in men in women's sports. They voted that in. It took about 8 years before they decided that this is a regret. It was wrong for them to actually vote this type of fucking ideology in to their policies, and now they're regretting it. So now with Trump, now that we're seeing this, a lot of people are rejecting that. So we see. Well, look at the results here. In 2016, etc., when Trump was in office, we saw people pushing this woke ideology, and they weren't losing money. Now,
Nobody
8 years later,
Barack Obama was woke.
Dude, hold on. I'm talking about the Trump's first administration. We saw these companies pushing woke ideology, and they weren't losing money. Now, especially with Trump's second term, we're seeing this. We're seeing people saying that they regretted their vote, and they're not going to do it again.
Okay, like
we're seeing this.
That wasn't my question.
That was your question. Your question was, why didn't we see that prior before? We're seeing it now. I answered it.
My question was, how come?
If it was 8 years
let me have
ago,
a dialogue with Jake. My question was, how come it started? These stocks only started going down instead of up after the right-wing media started having outrage about it.
They were having outrage even prior during the Trump administration.
No, not like
yes,
this.
they were.
Not
No,
like
they
this.
were. No, yes, they were. Colin Kaepernick. You remember the Colin Kaepernick taking the knee during the BLM riots and shit like that? That
That's
shit
not the
was
same thing as this. That's not a gender.
Yes,
that's
it is.
not
No.
that's not
But my point is,
roles
it's
thing.
woke culture. I'm talking about woke
That
culture.
was
Gender
before he
roles
took
is
the
woke
deal with
culture.
Sony. Wait, but
So,
that's
guys-
that's before he took the deal with Sony, so that doesn't even apply.
Okay, if
It does apply. What are you talking about?
If these
Whose
male
stock went down?
cheerleaders situation, if this would have happened 8 years ago, there wouldn't be nearly as much outrage.
I agree. And so Mel's question was, why didn't we see the outrage back then as to the degree that we see it now? Again, when you look,
No,
hold on.
Jake, you got my
Okay.
question wrong again, dude. How come the stock was going up before the media started doing targeted outrage campaigns, and only then did the stock start going down in response to these things?
Yeah, but again, I told you that they were still outraged by it in 2016, back in the day
Wouldn't
when
the
Trump.
easiest
Yes, they
explanation
were.
be-
Hold on. They were still outraged. The difference is that because now people are realizing that they voted in men and women sports, they're regretting it. So more people are voicing their opinions, saying that we don't want this woke culture in our sports
If I may.
and our shit anymore. So therefore, the
Wouldn't
stock is now
easiest
going down.
explanation- Wouldn't
If
the
It's not.
easiest
No,
explanation be-
I just gave you the
I'm
easy
kind of-
explanation.
I'm kind of with
Wouldn't
Mel,
the
Mel
easiest
here.
explanation
I'm
be that right-wing media causes these things to happen by having targeted
No.
media
You
campaigns?
But you can make that
No.
argument with left-wing media,
That happens
the
too, yeah.
the point is.
I'm kind of with Mel here in the sense that over the past, especially the past 5 years, there has been a movement, an anti-LGBT movement, an anti-anything that tries to expand the standards of being a man or a woman.
Sure.
But
that movement was around before that.
And most of that movement is because of right-wing propaganda.
Well, hold on.
I
When the
disagree.
right wing says that what is a woman? A woman is a biological adult human female. You're saying that's propaganda? Because that was a big fucking counterpoint with the left wing. What are you talking about? How is that propaganda?
Please,
That was my whole ironic.
please cut in for a minute.
Sex and gender being
Sure.
Yeah,
different.
go ahead, that man.
Shut up, Melv. Go ahead, 10th man.
If I may. No, don't be too mean. Let me do that.
Yeah.
So I was doing shows about this. I came to YouTube. One of the main specific reasons I started doing shows was about this. That was February 6th, 2020. Right? And I started ringing the warning bell and saying, this is going to be a very serious problem. And people attacked me and said, oh, you're just transphobic and all the same things as now. Except for now it is coming back to bite people. And I'm still out
Reap
there
what you sow.
saying, no, there's moderates like myself, Kazumi, or Kazum, however you pronounce it.
I'm not like those other gay people.
And most of us are, I believe, the majority in my just because we're along with the people who don't want to, do
Always
certain
have
things.
been 10th man.
Well, I mean,
Like with the whole boil over thing, like that gay men were the first to call that shit out. Get rid of this PDF shit from our movement. We are not that.
And
Well, look, let's
And
keep it
gay,
real. If I
gay
can,
men
real
and
quick.
lesbians have not been trying to radically change society. Most of us have just wanted to be accepted. The trans side wants to change the
Right.
way that
No.
people look at a
Kism,
whole slew of things.
Kism, are you
We're
hold on really quick.
Most trans activists, I won't say most trans people, but most trans activists want to force people to look at trans people a very particular way.
Kism, are you a homosexual?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because you said we. Okay.
May
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, I'm a
Kazum and
homosexual.
I
May I
have
have a dialogue
discussed
with
this
Kazum
before.
for a
You're very
second?
masculine.
I've
Man,
been
Mel,
wanting to talk to
every
Kazum
time
about
someone
this.
stops talking, it's not your turn. You understand
But no,
that?
I'm the only person who actually probably
No,
wants to
you
disagree with
people
Kazum here.
like
We all
you
wanna
took
jerk each
over
other
my
off, wanna have
movement,
mental
and
masturbation,
you think
and I
that
just
no,
wanna
this is
ask
what
Kazum
people
a
like you
critical
do,
question.
Mel.
I
All
wanna
you
ask
do is
Kazum a
talk over
critical
everybody.
question.
You're just like Kamala Harris.
Jesus
you think
Christ.
that you get the floor all the time, and you think that if
And
you
all you
talk
do is
more
avoid
and are more
debates.
disrespectful, that you won the battle.
And this
but
is
you
all you
didn't
do when
win the
someone
battle.
disagrees with you, dude.
No,
So,
because
Kazum,
you don't
What-
get the all the time. You don't get the floor all the time.
Even though
so
might be butting in, what is your question, Mel?
Really quick, guys. First off, I didn't know Kism is a homosexual. So is 10th Man. Did not know that. But guys, like, I will tell you this: you guys are the most masculine homosexuals that I've seen lately. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying, Jake.
I know. I don't know if it's the majority or anything like that, but for sure, the left wing homosexuals have a louder voice, especially when it comes online. Okay.
Who would have thought?
So
MTV got it wrong.
Well, I mean, the frustrating thing for me is there's a certain point where the T took over the LGBT movement.
Can I respond to
They
this?
completely took it over.
Okay.
No, nobody's. In fact, we're standing in solidarity
Frankenstein.
with them. So that's wrong in the first part.
It's
The
what
second
happens when the
point
medical
I wanna
industry
ask
goes
you,
unethical.
Because you said that we
Why
want
need to sign out, Jake?
We want to take things too far. And my question for you is, we want trans women to feel safe in bathrooms. We want trans women to compete fairly in sports, for it to be fair for the trans women and the people competing against
So
them.
compete in men's sports.
That's not
That
fair,
would be
though.
that would be
It's not
fair.
It's
That
not
would be
actually
fair.
fair.
We don't want trans women to face discrimination in society. Where have we gone too far there?
You've gone too far because there are many trans activists who say things like, if you they try to redefine homosexuality to no longer be about being attracted to a body, to a sex. It's now we're supposed to be attracted to a gender, and if we're not attracted to a man with a vagina, we're transphobic. The transphobic label gets put out all the time for the smallest of things, even the slightest disagreement. Oh, you're transphobic, and that's what's taken over the LGBT movement.
And Kazum, do you know what? Kazum, do you know what?
That's not.
Why do you got to talk over Kazum when he's not done? He wasn't done
Kazum,
talking.
Because the one thing is Terry
one
Act's
sec, I'll give it back to you,
definitely
Kazum. I'll give it
not
back
gonna
to
let
Kazum real quick.
guys, hold on.
Say, Kazum,
Everyone gets to talk, Mel.
yeah.
It's
You always
not
don't
all
wanna
about you.
Hold
talk
on.
shit about trans people, but
Kazum, I just want to say,
trans
Kazum,
person in the
it's been an
room.
absolute pleasure. 10th Man, Jake Var, Angry Stoneman, thanks for hosting. Been an absolute pleasure. And one
Hey,
question.
you killed it tonight, Terriac.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sir.
you did.
Yeah,
Terry, that was.
You're a hot motherfucker.
One question I want to leave you with,
You
though.
can just call everything a fugazi.
Because I know you're going to lambast my glory, all this kind of shit. One question I want to leave you with, though, and I want you to think about this. You know what, Nosh?
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, whatever.
Yeah, man, respond to
Okay,
Kazum, please.
So yeah, go ahead, Melv. You got the floor here to respond.
So Kazum, my question for you is, do you think that that's a norm, or do you think maybe you've encountered one or two trans people who are maybe or trans activists who are trying to discuss the nuances of these things? Because I know some certain straight people who are into trans women who still have their penises, right?
That doesn't mean that's the definition of homosexuality or heterosexuality. That doesn't.
Right. No, I would agree with you. They're still heterosexual.
I've talked with over 50 different people online who say these kinds of arguments.
Please. I need to finish in order for you to understand where I'm going with this.
I'm sorry,
agree with you. Just
if
because
you like dick, you're not heterosexual. If you're a male,
well, no, I don't think
dick.
that's true either. Because I don't think that person is willing to settle down with a man, or is even
if you're a
attracted
male and you like dick, you're not
men
heterosexual. I'm
who
just
aren't
saying.
feminine presenting. So that is different. Now, my question for you is:
A
now
dick
that
is
we
still a dick,
recognize-
no matter how it's
not.
presented.
before-
Yeah. Why? What does it matter if he wants to commit to the dick, and that doesn't make him gay? That
Let me hear
Hold on, you don't
Mel's
get to make
question. Let me hear
17
Mel's
points.
question.
No,
please let me hear Mel's question.
She made one right there.
No,
So,
I honestly
my
haven't been able to make
husband-
my point. Can you stop?
because you want to go
Wow,
on a diatribe
this
of
is ridiculous.
18 different things as if
Like
they're
you
facts.
do.
My
Like you
husband
always do,
is
tenth man.
no,
You're known
because
as
I
the
want to go
diatribe
point by point. Point by
Yeah, I'm
point.
going point
My
by point. So,
husband,
Kazum, your name
my
is not
husband
Kazum.
is feminine presenting.
Oh wow.
Doesn't mean he's trans.
I never
He
said he
puts
was.
fake nails on, more makeup than any woman you would know. Wears female clothes sometimes, but not fully, like a really fancy, like leopard print blouse, stuff like that.
Right.
You
Nobody
want to
is
know
saying he
something?
is.
He's not a trans woman. But if he was
Wow,
like
you're so
10, 15 years younger, they might have convinced him to be. Get it?
No,
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't
Most-
understand
no,
that this
that's
is
not how
a
it
genocide, dear. This
And we know
is
that
a
that's not
genocide
right.
against
So,
my
I
people,
still need
and
to
you
respond
don't
to
care
Kazum,
because you're
and there's gonna
evil.
be
Because you're
bullshit
evil.
left and right that I have to respond to, and then you're going to get mad
Okay,
that I
let's.
died.
Mel-
What's your
Mel-
what's your question, Mel? What's your question?
So, Kazum, does it not make sense that before we understood the distinction between sex and gender, because we didn't really understand the need to define gender as separate from sex, it made sense to define gay people as being attracted to other men without making that distinction. Now we maybe understand that it's kind of a holistic thing. I think it very much comes down to the person and their preference, but to define gayness would be a holistic thing of someone who's generally attracted to penises and cisgender men.
Yeah. Can I just say something?
It would be being homosexual means you have attractions towards a male body.
And I just want to respond to what 10th Man said, because the bullshit just never fucking ends. Never mind. I actually forgotten. That's probably for the better.
Mel, can I just say something really quickly? Wicked Wally did state that, Jake, if you don't get a proper debate between Mel and Kizum set up, you're leaving money on the table. And honestly, he's right about this. I do want to set up maybe a 2v2 with Kizum and 10th Man. You do the 1v1. You could choose your opponent if you want Kizum or 10th Man. I mean,
for sure.
I'm not always that great at purely 1v1. I'm not that.
Yeah, but you've done really good in today's panel, and I think the audience wants it, because I kind of like it too, to have without the noise, and to set up some type of debate on the LGBT community and y'all's.
Can I just say, if you don't want it to be like a hoity-toity kind of like, oh, I'm a debater kind of debate, and you'd rather it be more of a discussion, like I don't have to.
We can do a discussion. We can do a discussion.
We can actually go through stuff. I just find you actually easy to talk to, and actually like.
He is really calm.
There's something also about like when you. I have cut you off at some points, but in general, like letting you finish feels easier because you do get to the point, and you just have a good way of articulating yourself in that way.
Oh, right on. Thanks.
And I'll tell you this, Melv, I owe you a debate, because we're supposed to have you for.
Fault.
No. Yeah. No, but you gave me at least 5 hours to find a replacement. We got a replacement. No big deal. No harm, no foul. It's no big deal, dude.
I do try to do 24 hours because I think that's a reasonable thing to ask, but I'm sorry it had to be 5.
It's fine, dude. It's totally okay. But I do like having you on the panel, because you are, you're very different ideology than myself. So this is why I like having people like you that disagree with my points of views, etc., because it makes things interesting. I like that. So I would love to set up a discussion between both of you guys to kind of flesh out these ideas. I think it's interesting to where I don't have to get involved, and we can kind of flesh out these ideas 1v1. I think that would be cool.
Maybe sometime. My main thing is I don't want to say that trans people in general are the problem. I'm saying that the activists are the problem.
It's the same thing with 10th Man. Yeah, 10th Man.
The activists have ruined it for the entire LGBT community, because the activists have taken over the narrative, and they're pissing everyone off.
So I wanted to say something about that I forgot to say before.
I've been really quiet this whole time, if I could, real quick.
Okay.
I wish you would, Snowman.
Thank you.
Yeah, go for it.
Look, the thing is somewhat. I believe it was what's his name? Kazumi? Is that your name?
Kazum. It's just Kazum.
Just think of Zoom, right?
You had mentioned that you had noticed an uptick in anti-LGBT, rhetoric in the last 8 or 9 years or whatever, and you were trying to parse out as to why. And I can tell you as a father and a married man what the main reason is for most of America why you've seen an uptick in people pushing back on this stuff, and the vast majority of it has to do with our kids. The fact that there has been an unnatural and uncomfortable uptick in children wanting to participate in this delusion that's going on right now, and then there being adults that want to back this up and then not involve the parents with what's going on and try and pretend like this is okay to do. This is what the problem is. This is why there's been a major pushback. If people would have left our kids alone and just kept it amongst themselves and in their own bedrooms, we wouldn't have gave 2 shits or whatever about what anybody would do. It wasn't until they started bringing
Your mic's going fucky.
A little bit, yeah.
Angry, I would like to respond to you in full, by the way, because it's the sort of thing that I do have a heartfelt response to, not something I think would be disingenuous if you're interested.
Well, I think one of the big problems is that for instance, anyone who tries to say that parents should have more control over what's being taught in schools, they get labeled transphobic.
Well, when you're doing that to push back on just the trans thing, sure, because I think the people who are saying that fundamentally misunderstand what's being taught. We're not teaching kids to be trans. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Just like we don't teach kids to be gay.
Not true.
We teach kids.
There are activist teachers that basically say, well, if you have interests in these things, you might be trans. That should never be in the classroom. That should never be taught ever.
So wait, someone with different interests that align with someone who might be who typically is trans, is it not?
It shouldn't be taught.
Might be.
It shouldn't be taught. That should never be put into children's heads ever.
So
why are we
teaching? So here's the thing. I want my chance to respond.
Mel.
I let you finish as much as I could, and then your mic went off.
The problem is, why are there adults sitting and thinking that it's okay to talk about complex,
the same reason
sexual ideology with kids that don't even understand what you're talking about?
We think it's okay for adults to tell kids, "You're straight, you're cisgendered."
People don't do that because cisgender and straight are the standard. That's the norm. They don't need to specifically talk about it.
According to your own standard, that's what sex ed does.
Come on. That's ridiculous. You're being obtuse now.
I've never wanted to.
And by the way, cis is the N word for gay people.
No. I got 7 kids.
Cis.
I got one that's 26 years old, and I've never told my 26-year-old once in my life that I am a heterosexual. Never once. That is never come across in conversation.
I need to explain to Kazoom what I'm talking about because I was responding to Kazoom when I said that. So Kazoom, what I meant by that is that by your standards, acknowledging that certain people exist in sex ed is trying to indoctrinate kids. But by only acknowledging straight sex and straight sex ed in sex ed, that's indoctrinating them to be straight. It should go both ways.
Sex ed shouldn't be taught. Sex ed shouldn't be taught in elementary schools
at all whatsoever.
At all.
Yeah, I agree.
It should be completely off limits, and so should talking about gender. The same thing that should be off limits in elementary school. It shouldn't be talked about.
I agree with that.
It should be about.
I'm going to look at the experts on child development on this, and what the vast majority of them agree is that you're actually wrong.
The vast majority of them experts.
The DSM-5 says a bunch of things that are probably bullshit too.
Tell me how a bunch of kids
revise that, like we did with our understanding of sex ed over time as we understand more about things. And the reason why I'm going to trust them more is that they understand more about
really
one of the things that they understand.
As we understand more about things, really, because
as people are getting degrees in gender studies, and we should trust those people.
Child development.
The thing is there's a group of people that just don't want to.
So here's what I want to explain.
Yeah, Melv, you're appealing to authority.
Anything in full yet, but
you are appealing to authority.
You're appealing to authority, Melv. Like, yes, you are. You're literally saying these people said this is true, therefore it's true. That's appealing to an authority.
No, you're doing a fallacy. Appeal to authority says it must be right because they said that. I said I'm going to take their word for it over yours.
Yes, that's doing the same thing.
That's
How is
appealing.
That any different?
No, it's just I'm saying they're more likely to be right because they're more informed on this subject.
Does anybody up here believe that Mel adds anything to this debate?
Okay, look, listen.
Well, no, I think she does, but it's frustrating sometimes. But I think she does.
I would like to tell you what's been found after decades of doing sex ed your way and then trying sex ed the new way, which is also having comprehensive, which means age-appropriate sex ed in elementary school.
We got a bunch of weirdos teaching kids how to have butt sex now.
You're the weirdos.
That's the problem.
I think the amount, the possibility of teachers using it in a negative way to sexualize children it's too strong. The possibility of teachers using that in a negative way is too strong. So I think we should avoid it entirely.
You could argue the same thing for parents because they're not equipped to teach sex ed.
Guys.
I'm saying it shouldn't be. I'm saying sex ed shouldn't be taught in elementary schools. Do it in middle school. Fine. Middle school, high school, fine, but not elementary school.
If you look at comprehensive sex ed, I'm sorry, but like, someone took issue with something that I said, and I want to respond to that because parents are fundamentally incapable of doing that. We know this because A, they're generally uncomfortable with talking with their kids about sex. Not all of them, but most of them. B, comprehensive sex ed demands a lot from them. Comprehensive is the key word in this case, especially in the era of social media, where teaching them how to be safe online very much overlaps with that.
How much do you think is necessary to teach a person about sex?
Bull.
All right.
It's actually a lot.
Melv. Okay, so
it's a natural fucking act.
Then you were probably not given very good sex ed growing up.
Guys. So really quick, it's already getting late. Hold on, guys. It's already getting late. I got work in the fucking morning, but this was an amazing fucking debate conversation. That's for sure, and it shows that we're winning here, guys. Especially, all right.
You're still banned from my show, Mel.
This is what winning is. I don't want to know what losing looks like.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for showing up, Melv. Thank you, man. Look, honestly, I want
for reaching out in the first place. I didn't get to say that, but I do appreciate that you even thought of me. I realize that, like, you know, I may not always be the most palatable person, but I do try to be a good debater, and so.
No, you're entertaining, Melv. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're entertaining.
Well, I know people who also want to have actual debates and discussions would consider bringing me on, because I'm here to give you guys good news, and that's that you don't actually need to be as afraid of this thing as you think you need to be, and that's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to give you a gift of enlightenment. I'm just,
when I said earlier that there's this big push to completely change the way we look at a lot of things.
Wait, can I say this?
There's a certain amount of normalcy that we should still allow. We shouldn't just try to radically change society all the way around. It's I don't know. It's frustrating. So
for sure, you're winding down. And I know we're going to do the 1v1. Can I just say the one thing I didn't get to say to Kazumi before that I really need to say?
I'll give you guys final thoughts really quickly. Okay. Final thoughts. Melv, I'll start with you. We'll go final thoughts on everybody. Go ahead.
Okay, so I guess I'm responding to Kazum first.
Yeah, go.
Definitely, there are points to where I agree with you. Like, liberals don't understand trans people or the trans movement; they just do it to virtue signal. I don't think the trans activists are as guilty of what you're accusing them of. It's coming more from the liberal side and their misunderstanding of this. So definitely, maybe try to remove neoliberals from that equation. But we can talk about that more in the 1v1 debate if you don't exactly understand.
Discussion. Yeah.
As for you saying that this debate happening means you're winning, no, like, see, I don't feel slain at all, and that's the issue.
I'm being hyperbolic, Melv. I'm being hyperbolic.
Was like performative by like talking over me a lot, getting my questions wrong,
Melv,
telling me what I said when it wasn't actually what I said. These are a lot of characteristics of people who can't actually handle my real argument. So I do encourage you to do better. This is all a place where if we all kind of work with each other instead of against each other, we can all do better. And I want to see you become a better debater, Jake. I want to see you become a better debater, 10th Man. Kazumi, you're obviously fine. Snowman, I haven't actually talked to you that much, but you know, I'm here for you all. To help you do better. So please take my gift. That's all.
No, honestly, I think Melv is 100% honest with that. Like, every time I've invited Melv
before, but you are muted.
No, well, I am saying that Melv has never said I don't want to be on your show because you're right wing.
Is he muted for me?
Am I muted? Can you guys hear me?
Kazumi, can you say something?
I hear you.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, you can hear me, right, Melv?
Oh shit. Sorry, my speakers changed for some reason. I'm just gonna leave because I'm having audio issues now. Bye.
Okay, well, Melv, thank you so much for showing up. All right, cool.
No.
my thing about when it comes to right wing propaganda is that it makes it sound like the activists are the majority of all trans people. And I think that does a bit of a disservice. And I think that's one of the things that has contributed significantly to the anti-LGBT attitudes that have been forming in society. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, like I said, I've had arguments online with probably over 50 trans activists who have said a lot of bullshit, but I'm not going to claim that those people have the attitude, I'm not going to claim that they represent all trans people or even the majority of trans people.
But you would say that they have a loud voice, though, right?
They have a huge voice.
A very loud voice.
A loud voice. I think there are a lot of trans people who just want to be left alone and want to live their lives. So,
yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not the ones with the loud voices.
Yeah, for sure. Kazum, I don't know if you got the message in the back chat, but if you can like put your X account or something there where I can reach you or follow you. I followed your YouTube. I don't know if you have like your social media there that I can kind of reach out or whatever. But
I have the same name on X, so
okay, cool. So I'll look you up then.
And it's actually I had my legal name changed, first name changed to this in 2014. So
okay, there you go. Kazum, that's a very unique name. I've never.
It's
my name's very common.
It's a mispronunciation of music backwards. I'm a musician, and it's just a name I went by as a musician for a long time. And in 2014, I had a major life change, and instead of getting a tattoo or something, I said, hey, let's change my name. So I did.
Oh, right on. Okay, Kazum. I like that. I just followed you on X, so I already got you there. But yeah, I'm a musician myself as well. So I think we have some stuff in common for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, Angry. Last thoughts for the show.
I'm just going to say this, man. I think that the whole rainbow movement of today has become nothing but a perverse, disgusting display of perversion. They openly do. We openly see shit every year during Pride Month and during these Pride parades of, sexually explicit shit being done right out openly in public on main streets and towns in front of kids, in front of families. Yet they want people to see them as family friendly and shit like that. We see videos of perverts sitting and trying to groom kids all the time. We know that's what's going on. We see videos of teachers sitting and talking about wanting to share their kinks and this, that, and the third with their students that are only 5, 6, and 7 years old. This is the shit we're tired of. If you want people to leave you the fuck alone, leave our fucking kids alone. It's really that simple, because it's just going to continue to get worse until it does.
Yeah, we had gay teachers in schools when we were kids, but they didn't talk about it in school, really.
I would have never have known as a child, like never.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no need for there to be gay pride week in a fucking school with them having gay pride parades through the fucking school hallways and shit. There's no need for that shit.
Agreed.
It was Gay Pride Day. I have no idea when it turned into a month.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The month thing really, I think that put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
I hate it.
What's crazy? And you know what's crazy? I went to school with kids that were gay. Openly gay in the 90s. And you want to know what's crazy? They weren't fucking ostracized. They didn't feel like they were part of society just like everyone else. They just kept their proclivities to themselves.
Bro, the gay guys that were in my school, they were like really good with the girls. And dude, we didn't ostracize them. Like, we knew they were different. Maybe we didn't have the concept in elementary school that they were gay, but
now the 80s were a different animal, but the 90s, you're right.
Yeah, well, I was in the 2000s as a child.
All I'm saying is, if you want people to stop being so hateful towards the movement, leave our fucking children alone. Stop telling parents that you know better for their kids than what they do.
Yeah, for sure. Gentlemen, thank you so much for fucking stopping by. I really appreciate that, Kism. This is the first time on VOPod, by the way. This is the first time that I met you. So I'm really happy for that. 10th man.
Oh, great! You're back. I was concerned when you left. I was like,
I lost signal or something.
Okay.
Well, welcome back.
Good. So 10th man, I'm going to give you the final thoughts of the night, my friend.
Guess I'll just make it.
Rant it, bro. Rant it, because you were fucking going off with the MILF situation. Then with First Amender, holy shit, bro, you were.
Well, didn't he say there's only 200 trans people?
There's actually like 2.5 million of them.
Just the things he was saying were ridiculous, and I don't even believe that he's bi. I think he's one of those people that just comes on the internet and says whatever, and he's probably got a wife or a girlfriend. You know what I mean?
You think he likes girls only, and he's not sucking dick?
I think.
I mean, he's kind of feminine, bro. Like if you look at his face, he's pretty feminine. You know?
Yeah, but Ryan is feminine, so
Ryan's pretty feminine too.
He's straight, so
yeah, feminine. Yeah, Ryan does claim that. I think he's gay in my opinion, but I don't know.
Let's try to make this real simple.
I think Ryan's really gay.
I think so too. Probably. I don't know, but maybe.
What would be the purpose of talking to children other than recruiting? What would be the purpose? They're going to say, oh, because it teaches them blah, 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 blah. Why does a kid need to know about that at all?
Good question.
Because I figured it out just fine on my own, both ways, with gay and straight. And I didn't have any education. Just saying, I was able to figure it out because, like, you got stuff, it fits places, you do stuff, what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone through true hate in my life of gay people many, many, many times since 1977. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe that the trans movement was specific. How come most of them keep their dick?
Wait, is that true though? Like most people that transition, do they chop them off? They don't chop them off, right? They don't chop off their.
And they don't transition either.
They invert it.
They invert it.
No. I'm saying. Well, that's how they make a thing.
That's how they make a fake vagina. Is they invert the penis.
Yeah, that's a real trans person. I'm talking about most of these people that are prancing around pretending that they're women actually have a dick.
So most of them have penises.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. And that's
most
why
of
it's
them aren't
still
willing
gay.
to make that. Yeah, most of them aren't willing to make that full commitment.
Right.
They're doing it because it's part of a social. It's a way to get attention.
Social contagion.
Look, even an inverted penis is still an inverted penis.
They want attention. No different than the people who come on the panels for any other reasons. They want attention.
Right.
It's not about, like, listen, and they always say anecdotal. Okay, well, it's anecdotal to talk to kids about this stuff by your definition. And then, like, I can give you so many different instances. The one that was going around complaining at all the restaurants, making a big scene on TikTok for rage bait, then taking pictures in the Disney bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
There's no rational explanation for any of that.
Right?
And then you got, hold on one second, just last point. Here in Canada, there was a dude saying, I'm trans, not fully trans. Also the teacher, but that one was funny with the big boobs. But this one person was going around to all the different waxing salons, and they were saying, no, we only do women. And then tried to sue. Right? So, like, if your cause is so righteous, stop adding the two gay guys that live in the woods in Canada and have nieces and nephews that I would never have this conversation with my nieces and nephews, right? Unless their parents were like, hey, one of our kids is gay. They want to talk to their gay uncle. Then maybe, right? But, like, all of this is weird, and Kazoom and I do not want it associated with our names.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, agreed.
They want us associated with it until it becomes convenient, and then the second that we say no, there's certain lines you're crossing that we will not abide by. They go, you're not part of our group anymore. And it's like, hold on a second here. Our group was all about inclusion. So if we're going to add a T, add an S for straight.
So really quick, Melv, Melv, you've been listening in. You're wanting to debate again. Trust me, we're gonna have
ahead.
Melv, make it quick because I gotta go to sleep for work. Okay, so Melv, go ahead.
All I gotta say is, 10th man, of course you're not gonna want trans people to represent you when A, you think that they aren't born this way, the same way that you are, and B, that they're all of these horrible things, but none of the just being a trans person and living life as a woman, because all you know is all you've seen online, and all you've seen online is a terrible media diet of right-wing propaganda.
No, you
I'm sorry, but you're a gullible
a penis
fool.
the same as somebody.
You're just a gullible
disrespectful.
Fool.
Disrespectful. You consider a penis the same as being born with a tail. It's not.
Okay, guys. Okay, Melv, gave in the 2 cents. It's fine enough. Gentlemen, all right, we're going to end it already. Thank you so much for showing up on VealPod, obviously.
Peace.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
100%, man. And I got you on X, so I'll definitely keep in touch, man. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you a lot for showing up, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. Have a good night.
You too. Have a good one. All right, ladies and gents, that was a great fucking show, especially with the debate with Teriak Damon versus First Amender and Alex Hirsch. Very entertaining. That's for damn sure. And of course, the open panel is always entertaining. Like these people that come in saying their opinions. I love it. It was a great turnout. Thanks to Melv. Thanks to Teriak Damon, 10th Man, First Amender. All these guys that kind of showed up and didn't have to, but they did anyways. Snowman, he's another one as well. Dude, guys, thank you so much. We're gonna end it there. We're gonna send you off to who do I got you on the raid? To Flow State's channel. Is Flow State still live? Let me just make sure. Yeah, he's still live. I'll send you over to Flow State, man. Have a good night. I gotta crash out. Got work in the morning. Guys, God bless. And of course, I'll see you on the next Project VealPod.